Happy Monday, everyone, and Happy New Year. To all of you out there, it is good to be back. It's been a while. One, let me know if I sound pretty good. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear the music. Let me know if you can see everything looking good, looking decent. It's been a while since I've streamed, so it's pretty interesting. Now, one thing you'll notice is that it may look like I'm at a higher vantage point, which I am. I am standing up. I do prefer to stand up when I am teaching things. I will be trying to stand up through most of our episodes, but I'm also on some kind of weird balance board thing, which I actually find to be pretty beneficial for me. It like makes me be able to stand up longer. So if you see me take a tumble or something, you see me, struggling a little bit, you see me move and you see me moving around, it's just because I'm not on a flat surface. I'm on a little balance board, a little standing desk balance board. So, I'll just, get a little exercise in while we are streaming, but I am pretty excited to be here tonight. Just been rushing to get everything together. A lot has been going on, but first, let me get my hellos in. One, if you're new to the stream, if you're new to Mastermind Academy, please let me know. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from in the world. People seem to be tuning in from all over. Twitch's metrics actually showed me that we have people from, 6 of the 7 continents, in the world, which is pretty exciting. So let me know where you're tuning in from. What's up, Dylan the Machine? Good to have you. Dorothy, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Appreciate the love. Good to have you here. Pizza Alien, love to see it. Managed Chaos, how you doing, sir? Managed Chaos is a true stream OG. I appreciate the 10 months. I appreciate the love. I'm sure you all will see him, again on here to say hello. So I appreciate the love and the support. What's up, Eloc? How you doing? EQ Explorer, good to see you. Raymac 21, good to have you. It's J Phil's salute. How you doing today? What's up, Cash Fiend TV? It's J Phil's. I'm really excited, it's really excited. But Cash Fiend TV, how you doing today? Burning, what's that? Let me see. Burning JC 007, good to have you. Manuk 83, welcome. Swonder S Wonder 92, welcome. Razor Suit, yes, definitely make a gif of the tumble. If I should fall, make a gif, because I love gifs, and you will hear that a little bit later, for sure. Sin City, it's good to have you. Yes, of course, that's a Pokemon poster on this side of the wall. Yes, that is the original 151. The only, I do acknowledge the rest of the Pokemon, but those are the only Pokemon that matter. There are more posters going up on the wall too, so that you all know exactly who I am and what I love. We can talk about Pokemon all day. You'll learn more about me and my Pokemon love later for sure. What's up, iParting? Good to see you from Texas. Welcome. Everyone, I'm on the East Coast of the United States. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. So it's dope. Just so you know, that's why the time zone, East Coast time, Las Vegas, good to have you. Let's see. Liverpool, Sedan, that's dope. I love it. Buenos Aires, Argentina. I tried it. I did my best there. I took a couple classes, in middle school and high school, but it's been a little while. Traded to Canada, dope. What's up, Raymac? Good to have you. Madison, Wisconsin. E-Peach, dope. Good to have you. My first session tuning in from Seattle. Welcome, L4. Or maybe it's Lyle. Maybe I'll try it out. I don't know. L4YL. I did my best there. I'll mess up a lot of names throughout here. Let's see. Kid's a Legend. Love it. From Boston. Dope. From Colorado. Colorado is a place that I've been to for just kind of passing through. But I am someone, I'm into mountain biking, I'm into some outdoorsy things. Colorado seems pretty dope, and I'm really trying to make my way back out there. I do some skiing as well. Definitely want to make my way out of there. Austin, Texas, I love it. Steez, what's up? Over West, my Baltimore people, how you doing, man? What's up, Lee Devops 40, Washington, out of DC. I'm a PG County native, so I'm from right outside of DC. That's where I was born and raised. North Carolina, good to have you. Ben from Canada, good to have you. Toronto, we got people from all over. What's up, Nitro Sage? How you doing? Beverly Leslie, Wisconsin, North Carolina, I love it. Serbia, amazing, definitely amazing. New York City, good to have you. Oh man, we got people from all over the place. Columbus, Ohio, there's a lot of people from Wisconsin out here today. Mexico City, oh man, Atlanta, this is phenomenal. Nigeria, definitely want to call everybody out. Thank you so much, Nitro Sage, for the tier 1 sub. That's so much love and so much support. I do appreciate it. San Jose, Costa Rica. I love Costa Rica. I've been to Costa Rica one time. I don't remember which part I've been to. We didn't go to the touristy spots. We actually flew in and had to drive like 3 hours to wherever we went. We were in some beach town. It was pretty fun, but I love Costa Rica. I definitely want to make my way back out there. Good to have you. From the Bay, Canada. Oh man, people from all over the place. New York hype train going up. I love it. I still am not 100% sure what a hype train is. Again, I've been told it's a scam train. I appreciate it. I think that means you all are showing me love and support, and I really do appreciate it. Kansas City, dope. Portugal, amazing. Chicago, I still need to get out to Chicago. I've been a lot of places in the US. I have not been out to Chicago. Brazil, I love it. What's up, Mysterio? How you doing today? Bedrock Michael, thank you so much for the sub. Who we got? 88 Opus, thank you so much. Eddie Current, thank you so much for gifting subs. Everyone who received a gift for a sub, please thank your gifter. Always thank your gifter. I do appreciate it. Man, this is, you're starting my new year off right. I really do appreciate you all. I'm very happy to be here. I'm like, every time we stop streaming in between sessions, I always get super excited the next run. And so it's always so much love. From New Orleans, I'm still trying to get out there. I was supposed to go out there for my birthday this year. I turned 30 in this past March, but that's when quarantine started and I didn't make it out there. I definitely need to make my way down there. People tell me that they love it. Arlington, VA, you're right next to home for me. Welcome. Dope. Oh man, Steez, man, come on, man. Steez is a friend near and dear to my heart. I actually just spent a full week with Steez in the Outer Banks. I appreciate the love, man. Please, oh man, you gifted 10 subs. That's too much love, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You'll also see Steez around here as well. Crystallized Code, welcome. Great to be back. Dope. Brooklyn, New York. I actually got up to New York not that long ago. We came up there to get some cheesecake, which I did enjoy. I guess it was from the cheesecake place that everybody goes. I forgot what it was called. Then we stopped in Philly on the way back for some cheese steaks. It was a pretty good day, although very expensive because of the tolls. I forgot how much those things cost. Rollers, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. So much love, so many people. Bad Gamer, bad. Welcome, Portland, Oregon. Ah man, people from all over. Yaco, Costa Rica, welcome. I still haven't been to Yaco at all. Everyone tells me to go there as well. Been to Costa Rica once, never been there. Australia, love to see it. I'm gonna make it out to Australia too, even though Australia, you all have all the things out there that want to kill me. I definitely want to come out there, but it's a little bit scary, but we'll make it, because there's a lot to be seen besides the crazy animals that want to hurt you. I found out you guys have like a frog that like secretes stuff that can kill you, and I was just like, man, see, this is too much. Guam, happy new year, man. Spring Guts, people from all over the place. This is pretty dope. Come out to Utah. I do want to come out to Utah. All my favorite people. I listen to a bunch of car podcasts and stuff. Utah seems to be where it's at. Beautiful landscape, pretty dope. Juniors, that's what it is. Thank you. Definitely, New York tolls are the worst. It was crazy expensive, and we went through toll booths that did not have people in them because of COVID. I guess they weren't staffing them, and they sent us the bill, which is fine. One day I'll tell you all my Easy Pass story. I've told it before. I'll tell it again. But I don't have an Easy Pass in my car. But I figured they just send me a video toll and I'd pay it. They sent us the video toll with the it already had the fee on it, like the toll fee for non-payment on there. It's like $50, so it was really expensive, but it's all good, Did I take a break to play Cyberpunk? I did play a bit of Cyberpunk, a good amount of Cyberpunk. Trying to get in as much Cyberpunk before the new year, because this year I'm not going to be able to play Cyberpunk very much. But yeah, I did. Cyberpunk runs well on my computer. I'm sorry for everyone who's been playing it on console and has not been having a great experience. It is a phenomenal game if you got the hardware for it. So if you ever do get the hardware for it, I do encourage you to play it. Don't let the terrible experience you've had so far, put a bad taste in your mouth. I'm sorry, but it is a good game for sure. The baby's not here yet. The baby doesn't come until March. So I do have my little one. I'm expecting my first child. Me and my wife are expecting our first in March. Pretty excited about it. I'm very excited about it. But just trying to get everything ready. That's been part of the things that I've been doing over the past few weeks as well. Trying to get ready for that, so we can get away. Cane toads, that's what they're called. And I'm scared of them, for sure scared of them. Prime, welcome. Hello. Everyone, we're going to talk about all the amazing people you should also go follow on Twitch if you want to learn and you want to dive deeper into the tech industry. The Prime again is one of them, so thank you so much for the sub. He does a lot of dope stuff, but I'll give you a lot of information about that guy for sure. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Let's see. 4th in May, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. A lot of people are expecting. It looks like we all had the right idea, or the same idea at least, when we were, bored in the house. But I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be pretty dope. We should do this. Can you explain how we pay for the tiers? I want the cool swag. Dope. Yes, I will explain about that pretty shortly. And we should hop into it. So tonight is going to be super chill. Tonight, we are just going to be doing a syllabus day type thing. We're going to be talking, ask questions, getting to know each other a bit, talking about what we're going to be learning over the next 8 weeks, and really over the next year if you are looking to dive deeper into these things. So welcome to Mastermind Academy. I appreciate you all being here, all the love. I'll give you all the information that you need to kind of get in all the communities, all of the different places you need to be to get all the information that you need. But I'm excited. This is my first time running this bootcamp as a full-time entrepreneur as well. So this makes it a lot easier. Usually I was coming to run this after, spending all day at work. Now, same thing, I'm still working all day, but this is a part of the work. So it's pretty exciting. I'm actually, this run is gonna feel good to me because it's gonna be the first time I can really give it everything that I kind of have. So pretty excited about it. But thank you all so much for the hype train. I don't know what the tiers of hype train mean. I also see that I got that emojis are being delivered to people. Again, still something I'm learning for sure. Atrax, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Cool. And I just fell off of the balance board, but it's helping. It's definitely helping. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna head over to the Academy view, and we are going to hop into some slides. Now, if you are already inside of the Google Classroom, you should already be able to see the slides, and I will check to make sure that they dropped on time. And so, okay, first off, you all saw me, some things have changed, and we'll talk about those things that have changed. You're probably already like, Aaron, why are you using Microsoft Edge and not Chrome? Well, okay, I hear you. I definitely hear you. The only reason I'm using Microsoft Edge and not Chrome is because I have this. And this is a Surface laptop, and it allows for some cool annotations using the pen, but only using the pen inside of Microsoft Edge. The new Microsoft Edge is built on top of Chromium. It is Chromium based, so it is essentially Chrome. So I know people are going to be concerned, but that's what we're going to be doing because it does provide some benefit, but not always. We use. We do have to change that from Microsoft Bing. I'm not a Bing person at all. Not a Bing person. And I created a new account on this computer so that I can start kind of fresh with this. And yeah, Bing's not going to do it at all. So let's go to Google first so that I can search for Google Classroom because I don't know the URL for it. Google Classroom. And we'll get in here and we're going to see a lot of cool stuff. I have way too much Google Classroom stuff going on in here. All right, so let's make sure everything's dropped. Classwork should all drop at 7 p.m. Perfect. Oh, okay. There's one that I did not schedule properly. I'll schedule that one in a second, but this is a homework item anyway, so I just didn't schedule it, but it's in there. So slides. These are the slides. I will share the link in case anyone does not have them. Let me also get you the link for, I'm gonna make a little command with the link for this if you did not get there from emails or through the registration link. Not a big deal at all. I'll copy this link for you. Let me get you to the chat. There you go. You can get the slides from there. And nope, this is the wrong item, but this is the right item. Cool. And so every day, basically, we'll generally start off with slides. I'm not the biggest fan of slides, but they work. they work. You need them. No, you do not need. So you don't need to register before you start. But I will give you the registration link right now for this. It's it's a Google Classroom. You don't really need to You don't need to register on the site or anything. Actually, so that I don't have to share it all with you, actually, that's exactly what we're going to do. No, that makes sense. We are going to register. I'll send you to the registration link. It is literally a thing just to put in your email. This is not going to stop you from doing anything today, but I will share this and I'll make a command really quick. And hold on, commands, add register. And so the reason I'm sharing this register link to you instead is because it'll give you the login for all 3 boot camps if you need it, if you didn't already get it. So now if you should hit !register, you can get, I spelled register wrong there. As you will see, I will spell a lot wrong. It will give you the link to register. Just sign up, you can click in and get to that stuff as well. If you want to just follow along for now with the link above, you can, whatever floats your boat. But there are 2 other boot camps going on, so you can join those as well. What's up, Pablon? Welcome to the channel. Hello from Spain. That's pretty dope. I've never been to Spain. That's another place I want to get. You know, really got to travel the world once we are able to travel the world again. But tonight starts a new journey. A brand new journey, and this journey is called Pipelines. So this is how things are going to go. So from the people who have been here for a little while, we have done a few iterations of these things. So a little bit of background. This is the 4th run of boot camps ever. I started this last year back in August of 2019 with this boot camp. It was just called, Introduction to DevOps Bootcamp or whatever, and it was 12 weeks. And so we started out with that. We ran it, learned some things, ran a couple other boot camps throughout the next year. We ran a coding one. We ran this one again, and we did a level 2 of this one, a level 2 of the software engineering one. And so I've learned some things about kind of how much time we have and like how much people can realistically learn, how much you can realistically teach in a certain amount of time. Still learning, we're still taking an iterative approach to this, just as we're going to learn when we're doing things with DevOps and site reliability engineering. But all 3 of the courses taught right now are the apprentice level courses. Everything in Mastermind Academy has 3 levels. Apprentice is the beginner level. It's the entryway to all of these disciplines. Even though it's the beginner level, that is not to say these things are going to be super duper easy at all, but these are going to be designed to be able to introduce you to these concepts as if you did not know anything about them beforehand. So it's a good way in. So there's this one, there's Decoded, which starts tomorrow, which is software engineering and computer science. And then on Friday, we are going to start Horizons, which is an introduction to cloud computing with AWS. There will be 3 levels of each of these courses. There will also be a new course introduced halfway through these courses. So in 4 weeks, there will be a web development course called Domination. This is to get a different cadence going. This is to get a little offset so that we're not always doing the entry level things in the beginning of the year, and middle of the year we'd be doing a couple intermediate things and a bunch of other stuff, and not doing the advanced stuff till the end of the year. We're going to get to the point where we have an option for everyone at any given time, but every year we're going to run all of the apprentice level courses at the beginning of the year to allow everyone to get in, get comfortable, when they're setting their goals, but to give them a chance to really get in and get started with things. But we also will be running other courses at the same time. That obviously means there will be more trainers than just me. So we're working on it. It's growing. We're doing some cool things, but it's pretty exciting. My Christmas and holidays, they were good. I did get to spend some time with some family. Not as much as I would have liked. Usually we do big Christmas over all together, me, my brother, and our families and everything. It's usually my parents, really fun. We didn't get to do that this year, but I did get to spend some time with friends and family and get to relax a little bit and to enjoy their time. So it was good. Overall, it was good. I got to relax way more than I thought I was going to get to relax. Kind of unplugged a little bit, so it's been pretty cool. Diginomicon, thank you so much for the Prime sub. All right, so let's get started. I don't want to hold you all night. I think tonight we want to get out of here as fast as possible. But this is Pipelines, a journey into software delivery, automation, and infrastructure. All right, so let's find out what all that means. So first, about Mastermind Academy, what it's designed to be really is an engineer's one-stop shop for training and job opportunities. So there are going to be job opportunities coming to the channel, working with companies now, just to really, they're looking for you all. They're looking for people with these skills. It's very important to them that they have them. And we want jobs. We want to work at these companies as well. We want the money. We want the challenge. We want all the glory that goes along with this stuff. We're not learning it for no reason. And so we are going to be getting connected with everyone. And that is coming very, 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 very soon. It's kind of here, but just trying to, we're working a few little things out. But it really is. So all this is a platform designed to deliver live, interactive, technical skills training to anyone anywhere, no matter anyone, no matter where they are, at no cost. So the goal is to always have this be no required cost. Tech has the power to change the world. It's got the power to change lives, and learning how to wield technology has the power for you to change you can change your entire lineage if you learn how to wield tech. And so the goal is to just share that as much as possible. The tech industry has been amazing to me, and I just want to, the goal is to just help as many people as we can get into tech and to be able to do all the cool stuff that we need to kind of move us forward as a society, as a world. I think technology really is going to be it's so much more important going into the future. I learned a lot this year about the importance of technology and what it really means and what your responsibility is with it through COVID. We'll talk about that again probably at the end of this session. I could talk to you more about that, but yeah, we're just gonna learn how to wield it so we can do great things, make some money, create some opportunities for ourselves. All right, so this is probably the only time I'm gonna drop this. The stuff will be down at the bottom. I'll talk about it first day. I'll probably never throw it in your face again. But ways to support. So this is completely free. There's no required cost at all. Feel free to pay nothing. There is, seriously, don't feel completely comfortable paying nothing for this. But you can contribute it in any given time. If you feel like you've gotten something out of this, if you feel like, if you feel like you'd like to support, these are the two ways that you can do it. You can go to academy.mastermind.io/contribute. There's also a contribution thing at the bottom. I think it says donate because that's the term for Twitch. And that's what their little things come with. So you can go through that link and you can donate. Feel free. Great. You do, if you go to the academy.mastermind.io website, you will get to see these things right here. So, you get full access to everything. No matter what, you get full access to everything. But if you do donate $15, you get a sweet Ultimate Mastermind sticker pack. This comes with an assortment of pretty dope tech stickers, custom designed. It'll have Mastermind stickers in it as well. But there are a bunch. I'll try to find a time to show you guys all the possible options that are in there, but it'll come with a bunch of stickers. So, you gotta have stickers. I am a huge sticker person. I'm gonna, maybe sometime if I have time, I'll go find my laptop and show you all how many stickers I have on there. It's getting pretty ridiculous now. It's certainly added weight to my laptop. And then these are just the two tiers that we have. $15 will get you the sticker pack. $30 will get you the sticker pack plus some cool socks as well. So we got a little bit of swag. We do have shirts and things as well. We have a store, which I'm going to provide the link to probably in a week or so. Just if anyone wants to grab some swag, this is purely for, I like to wear the brand. It's my brand. I like to wear it. Well, it's our brand, really. But if you ever want to grab anything, if you want to support that way, you can as well. And the other way is through subscriptions on here. So if you're new to Twitch, Twitch has a way of supporting content creators on here called subscribing. So it's they start at $5 a month. They go up to $25. They get you some cool things like emotes. So if you, let me see if I can put a little emote, put all my emotes in here. You can get access to some sweet custom emotes that you see in the chat right now if you subscribe. You also won't see any ads, which is my biggest benefit to me. I'm someone who really dislikes ads. You won't see any ads if you do that as well, and it does support me. Like I said, it started at $5, but if you are an Amazon Prime user or purchaser, Twitch is an Amazon company, so you get a free subscription per month. So these are a monthly thing. You do not have to do it monthly, but it is a monthly thing, and you get one free per month with your Amazon Prime subscription. So you can connect the two, and if you feel so inclined to share your subscription that you get through Amazon Prime with me, I appreciate it. Or like I said, if you have $5 to burn, consider supporting your boy. I already told you I got a little one on the way, and I no longer am working a big boy tech job anymore. I'm a entrepreneur and trying to make it out here on my own. So if you want to support, great. If not, it's all good as well. I love to have you here. Love to just talk and be in your presence. It's really nice at the end of the day, so I do appreciate it. So cool. Also, if you're wondering how you get the socks and the stickers and stuff, you will receive, if you donate anything over the $15 or $30 mark, we'll get that, and we will respond to you with a type form, just requesting your address. And yeah, I think there might be one other question in that type form to determine what kind of stickers you get, but not 100% sure on that. And then it'll get out to you as soon as possible. So that's all you got to do. You don't really have to do anything extra after that. Just keep an eye out for that type form email. It'll respond to whatever email you use when you do the contribution. So yeah, that's what you do. Do you get a kickback? Yeah, the Prime subs are exactly the same as the normal $5 sub. So they work exactly the same as that. So I do. So appreciate that. So again, that's the only time I'm going to throw that in your face. We are here for the tech. I'm here for the tech. I'm here for the growth and the learning. One thing we're going to talk about after you meet me a little bit more, so I'm going to, give you all a little more information about myself, is that, hey, I'm on a journey with all of you at all times as well. Once you get in the tech industry, once you're in it, you got to be a lifelong learner if you want to continue to thrive in it. And I'll talk about the things that I am trying to learn and things as well. I'll probably host a bunch of study sessions because, just like you, I'm diving into brand new things this year, and it's gonna be a roller coaster for sure, but it's gonna be fun, and we will get through it. Tout Finesse, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Love to see it. All right, so a little bit about me. I want to make sure that you know who you're learning from, who you're here with. You're gonna be spending time with me. I want to make sure you know a little bit more about me. So I'm a former technical lead, and I have a DevOps engineering background. I have a DevOps engineering background from an ops. I came from the ops track. So traditionally, I was an operations person, and I came into DevOps from that route. And I'll explain a little bit more today about what that means if you are confused. But I've also been a lead of engineering teams. I've led application teams. I've built applications. I've done it all. I really have done a lot of different things in tech. I've worked at a lot of different companies. So if you send me a message on LinkedIn, which I'm going to give you all my LinkedIn, you can kind of check out some of those things. But yeah, it's been a pretty fun ride. I have about 11 years of experience in the industry. Yeah, about 11 years of experience in the industry. And now I'm a CEO of my own company. It's been pretty exciting. I'll give you all more information about Mastermind later as well too, like the rest of the company. It's not, the academy is one piece, but the rest of the company is tech focused, but I'm not a DevOps engineer anymore, even though I do still, I write a lot of code still. So that's good. That's exciting. So I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 90. That's important for you to know because I will make comments. Some of the memes and things that you'll see might make a little more sense if you know that I'm a 90s baby. Pokemon is right here over my left shoulder. That's really, really important to me. You'll see a bunch of other things that you probably can't see. There's a little baby Yoda over there. But yeah, I'm a 90s baby, so I love 90s baby things. So if you know about that era, if you know about the amazing cartoons and things that have been, part of my life, we have a level to connect now, so it's pretty exciting. I love cars and motorsports. My 86% of my reason for wanting to be an entrepreneur is to support my dream of basically having my own little race trailer, race team. I have my truck, my race car. I take it around the country, and I learn how to drive really, really well. I want to learn how to really race. I've done a couple of track days and things like that. I'm into it, but I really want to get really big into it. So I'm trying to, I'm not joking with you when I say that's 80. It's a solid 86% of the reason why I stepped out of the corporate world into running my own company, with hopes that I one day can be a race car driver. Right now I do have the truck already. I have a truck. I have a big red Ford F-350, which I've learned to love. I hated it at first because I'm a cars guy, and now I love the heck out of it, to be honest. Kind of sucks because I can't take it everywhere because it's too big. I got one that's like lifted from the factory already, and like got big tires and doesn't fit a lot of places. I can't actually even take it to my office. I have an office downtown Baltimore. I can't take it there because it does not fit in the garage. But I'm becoming a truck person a little bit. And I do have a Ford Focus RS right now. Not the perfect track car, but a fun car for the roads. A really good daily driver actually, but I'm probably gonna get rid of that and get something cheaper and something I don't mind possibly crashing into a wall, because I heard that happens when you are learning how to drive fast, really fast. Like I said, I've done a couple track days, but nothing in my own car. So probably get like start off with like a Miata or something, so I know how to drive. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure it out. They got like the 86 Cup and stuff. I will figure it out. Any Pro Series, what would it be? Man, I don't know. I really don't know. If I can race in any Pro Series, the thing that intrigues me the most is rally. I love F1. I love F1. What you all cannot see is I'm gonna lift it up a little bit. I have like a little racing cockpit thing here. Oh, whoops, almost dropped it. But a little racing cockpit thing there. I do love F1. Rally is what intrigues me the most. I don't really want to drive rally. It looks crazy. But I think that's, if I could race in any Pro Series, I think it would be rally, just to say that I did it one day. Those people are crazy. They're actually nuts, but it looks pretty dope. All right, so I do have a keyboard addiction. It's pretty problematic. I built a few different keyboards. I'm not even using one that I built right now, but I'm an absolute garbage typist. You will see me mess up typing all the time. I have to look down at the keyboard pretty often. Pretty bad. I'm better than I was. So just know that I've made progress. I still plan on making progress this year. It's something that I practice. It's something that I started practicing last year that I made, I made about a 14 words per minute increase, and my average accuracy increased by like, I think it was like 9 or 10%, but something I still need to work on pretty heavily. Your boy has, my fingers are a little bit fat and doesn't help at all. But so you'll see me mess up a lot. I just want to get that out of the way now so that you don't have to tell me later that I'm a bad typist. Yes, D-Flare, I'm doing Vim, but I'm doing VS Code with Vim key bindings, and that's mostly for you all, for people following along, so they can, so that I'm using the same tools that I'm recommending to people, since I don't recommend Vim to people. But when I'm on my own, I just use pure Vim. But yeah, you'll see me using VS Code with Vim key bindings here. Or some custom keyboard parts myself. Yeah, looking forward to QMK. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys one day. I think both of my custom keyboards are at my office right now. I do have a GMMK Pro on order. That's what I'm waiting for right now. I'm using a normal GMMK with like some of their custom keycaps that are okay. They're not amazing. These are the browns, but yeah, it works. It works out well. I can change the switches if I want to, but but I'm pretty bad. I love it. I want to build more keyboards. It's an expensive hobby, but I'm a terrible typist. So know that about me. The little crying face is my favorite emoji. I want to put that in there because I use that emoji very often, and I don't know what it says about me, but now you know that it's my favorite one. I use it too much. Pancakes over waffles. I left this in here because this must be said that pancakes are in fact greater than waffles. The only thing that trumps both of these things is French toast, but it's harder to come by French toast. Pancakes better than waffles. No, there's no debate here. So over, it's there. You can see it on the screen. It's done with. We will not have discussions about this because it's the truth. And the last thing is, I was once a top 50 player on the East Coast of the United States in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, the trading card game. Yeah, it was an exciting time. I had to have been in the 7th or 8th grade. I think 8th grade. I was only there for like a week and a half, and then I got killed at a competition in Pennsylvania, in which my dad so graciously took me to so that I could get wrecked pretty quickly, but I was going against 25-year-olds and 30-year-olds at the time, and I was 15 or something like that, 14, and yeah, I was pretty proud of that. I used to go to competitions like every weekend, like almost every weekend for a long time. I did not have the best cards. I just had a lot of good strategy at the time. I ran a bunch of very interesting strategies, and it worked out for me. That's how I got to the top 50 for the little bit of time I was there off of a fluke deck that shouldn't have won. That I should not have won off of it. I didn't think I was going to win. I barely won. But yeah, it used to be amazing. I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh anymore, but I used to. Definitely used to love Yu-Gi-Oh. So now you know a little bit about your boy. Should you install VS Code before next class? Feel free to, absolutely. VS Code is absolutely what I recommend. We'll probably take a little bit of time and install it for anyone new, but it takes no time to install it. We're gonna get our whole little dev environment and stuff set up next class, but feel free to get it installed or whatever text editor you like. If you are familiar with text editors, use whatever you want. That's going to be the thing that we're going to talk about here. If you know stuff already, I'm going to give you recommendations on things to do so that you have an idea about where to start. But it's not a big deal. Use what you're comfortable with. You'll learn that in DevOps and site reliability engineering, infrastructure, all this stuff, the tools are there to help you, but there are a lot of tools that solve the exact same problem. And so choose the one that works for you. And it's definitely Aaron, but feel free to call me Aaron. Not a problem at all. Not a problem in the least bit. If you're unfamiliar with this, my name is Aaron, but if you're unfamiliar with the bit, there's a Key and Peele sketch. If you head over to YouTube and type in Key and Peele substitute teacher, or I think if you just go there and type in substitute teacher, you will get it. And it's a great skit. And people have been calling me Aaron forever now since that skit came out. So, I'm okay with it. I'm completely okay with it. Very comfortable. I will respond to it. So, it's okay. Completely okay. Everything tech related is expensive. It is, man. It is. As someone who's sat outside of Micro Center, I'm fortunate enough to have a Micro Center right next to me. And I've sat outside of Micro Center way too many times in the second half of 2020 and spent way too much money on things, but I've also there were things that I needed, but definitely spent way too much. I mean, I do have a 3090 in this computer right now that I got because I told myself I'm going to learn some AI and machine learning stuff this year. Obviously you don't need a 3090 for that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. It's a write-off. All right, don't tell the IRS, even though you can, because it's a legitimate write-off. All right, it is sanctuary for sure. Nah, I agree. I definitely agree. So here's the agenda for tonight real quick. We're gonna run through this. We're gonna have plenty of time to ask questions. We're gonna have plenty of time to talk about whatever you want to talk about. So feel free to queue up all of your questions, but we're gonna talk about expectations and requirements. We're gonna go over the syllabus. We are going to talk about DevOps and what DevOps is. We'll also talk about site reliability engineering and what that is, especially being compared to DevOps. And then we'll do some question time stuff. Now, this course will definitely focus more on DevOps concepts than SRE concepts. We'll talk about why, but there's a ton of overlap there. We'll talk about that too. But we're going to spend, just so you're not surprised when we get into it, and there's way more meat and potatoes on the DevOps portions. Again, tons of overlap, but these are more applicable to you learning them in your home today. Some of the site reliability engineering things, the concepts are just too big, and they are, too big in that they generally need a bunch of infrastructure to even mess with. And so we're going to be focusing along the DevOps route of things, but we'll definitely be touching all of it for sure. And yes, this bootcamp is level 1 to the series, Virgil. Absolutely. So this is, you're coming in right at the beginning. So expectations and requirements. What should you expect? These are the primary things you should expect. So at the end of this course, again, this is the apprentice level of the course. There is another 8-week course that is the journeyman level. Journeyman is the intermediate level. And then there's another, I'm not sure if it's going to be 8 weeks or 12 weeks yet, but there's another one, which is the master level course, which is kind of the end all be all of this DevOps course. And it'll take you through a nice progression for what we do. For anyone who went through Decoded Journeyman, we ran Decoded Journeyman, the second level of this, I think in like September, August or something like that of last year. We tried to make it a little bit, we tried to make it a thing. We did a little bit of role playing. We tried to make it a scenario based. And I definitely like that approach. But we're going to continue with that for sure. But it's going to go a little bit deeper now that we have time to kind of flesh it out a little bit more. These will be like you're in actual roles. So this is going to be learning the things, and then classes 2 and 3 are going to be doing the things. So we will do things here for sure. We're going to be doing the things here, but this is going to be touching on all the different pieces, and then the bigger real life implementations are going to happen in level 2 and 3. So I want you to have a strong understanding of DevOps and SRE concepts and culture. That's pretty important. That's the number one thing. the better you understand what the concepts and the culture around these things, the easier it will be for you to understand how to pick up the tools and use the technology to implement these things. The second thing is where DevOps and site reliability engineering fit into the tech industry. Where do they slot themselves? What are they related to? How are they used, in comparison to everything else? So I want you to kind of understand where they sit. We're also going to learn how to implement DevOps and SRE methodologies to solve real world problems. So learning the tools is one thing, but understanding how to use them to solve problems is another thing. That's the hardest part about any piece of technology. The hardest part of coding is not learning the code. It really isn't learning the syntax as you might think. It is learning how to use those things to solve a real problem. I actually think that piece is a little bit easier here in DevOps and infrastructure and automation than it is in pure programming, to be honest. So that'll be good. I want you to have a solid understanding of the role requirements for DevOps or site reliability engineers. So we're gonna learn all the concepts and stuff, but like, what do you mean? What are you gonna be doing on the job? We need to know what to expect when we walk into a role and what people are gonna be looking for when they're looking for people like us to do the work for them. And I also, lastly, want you to have a path, to know a path to enter the field of DevOps or site reliability engineering. I want you to know what steps to take next to get there. I want you to have a good understanding of where to go and what trajectory to take to get to your goals. Okay. Current DevOps engineer here, get yourself a copy of the Phoenix Project if you can. It's a great story by DevOps. It is 100%. I think I have the Phoenix Project as a recommended pickup in, I think it drops on Wednesday, whenever our next class is. The Phoenix Project is definitely dope. Also, absolutely do exactly what Dorothy just did. Drop anything that you feel would be useful and relevant to the things that we're learning. Drop away. Like, seriously, any courses, anything that you feel like would be helpful to anyone, drop them. You can drop them here. You can join the Discord and drop them in the Discord under the resources channel for pipelines. Share it all. You are going to learn differently from different people. Some things, when I teach them to you, you're not going to understand, and you might learn it from somebody else. I might teach you something else, and you might get it first try. And you got to play around with different instructors, different methods of learning. So maybe you're an auditory learner. Maybe you like to read. Maybe you need to get yourself some books to learn certain concepts. So mix it up. Do the things that work for you. I'm not here saying this is the end all be all course for you to learn and to get everything done. No. Do what works for you. Feel free to share anything that's worked for you in the past. I'm going to recommend other courses to you that have worked for me. Okay. I've been where you are right now. So share it all. Definitely share it all. And we'll try to start to put together. I do prefer, definitely share it here. What I'm going to do for stuff that's shared in the resources channel of Discord, I'm going to start to put together a more permanent place, a resources section on the Mastermind academy.mastermind.io website, so that people can kind of go there and it can be a little more long lived. But yes, share away. Definitely share away. I know people have like whispered messages to me like, hey, is it okay if I share something here? I'm like, look, please share away, 100%. All right, so those are the main things we want to learn. And then these are the secondary things that we want to pick up. So these are not DevOps or SRE specific or infrastructure or automation specific. These are how to learn. So an understanding of how to approach learning new concepts and technologies. This is very, very important because you're going to be doing this throughout your career. I'm not joking with you. When you get comfortable with this piece, once you learn yourself and learn how you like to approach learning new things, you get to the point where you can, like, especially once you have a built up library of things that you've added so many tools to your tool belt. When you go to learn something new, you can do it like that. I'm serious. You can learn things so quickly, and it's really important. And the faster you can do that, the easier it'll be to navigate the industry. The easier it'll be to stay ahead. It'll be super beneficial for you once you can pick those things up. I also want you to learn how to be comfortable or at peace with being confused or lost. One of the misconceptions about the industry is that the people who've been in it for a while, they just know what they're doing. They've seen enough, they've done enough to just know what they're doing. Not at all. What they've done is they've picked up, number one, they've learned how to learn new things. They've learned how to get the answers that they need. And they do have a bunch of tools in their tool belt to help them get there, but they're lost too, all the time. Confused, lost all the time. It's just when someone brings them something or something happens and they're confused, you know, they're like, cool, okay, I'll gather all the information I can, and I know how to approach getting to my answer, hopefully. So you'll learn how to be at peace being lost or confused. Learning this stuff is not about never being lost or confused. You will very often be lost or confused. You'll just learn to be okay with it. I want you to realize that no one knows it all. We're going to talk about a lot here. DevOps, this in particular is the most intimidating of all three courses. The reason why it's so intimidating is because this covers all of the pieces. It covers almost the entirety of the software development lifecycle, including, it engulfs the other courses. Like, honestly, the other two courses could be a prerequisite for this course. It could be, hey, you need to learn all the cloud stuff and all the programming stuff first to come over here. Not really true, but these are concepts that fit inside of here, and you'll see that very shortly. But no one knows it all. You'll hear me talk about a lot of things and you'll say, man, he knows a lot about this stuff. I don't know. I know things. I definitely know things, but I don't know it all. No one does. They're like, the people who you look up to, who you think are experts in this and that, yeah, they've got the things that they've touched a lot and that they are very, very knowledgeable and are experts in, but no one knows it all. So don't sweat it. Don't try to know it all. Don't feel bad about not knowing a bunch of things, because that's how we all are. I want you to have a strong belief that tech is for you and that you can thrive in it. This is one of those things where I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who just feel like they're interested in tech, but they saw a video or someone tried to walk them through something and they did not understand, and they assumed it wasn't for them. That is completely false. If you all could see where I used to be with this stuff and where I am now, you can find your way in it. Again, it's all about you kind of learning yourself, learning how you like to learn how to get the resources that you need. But I'm telling you, I truly believe just about anyone can learn how to do something in the tech industry and kind of fill a role in the tech industry. And you can always pick up more and more skills. Just take your time. Everybody wants it to be done like that. Take your time. Add another tool to your tool belt, add another tool to your tool belt, add another tool to your tool belt. And before you know it, you'll be where you want to be. And it is for you. I don't care you're at home doubting yourself right now. Tech is for you. I promise you. And the last thing is that I want you to learn some proper dope meme usage. Memes are the language of the internet. Memes are absolutely the language of engineers. So I need you to learn how to use them well. Send them around, have a good time. You'll see memes and GIFs, and you won't see any GIFs, because if you say GIFs, you're a sick person, but you'll see memes and GIFs everywhere. And again, there are two reasons why we do this. One, again, just to get you comfortable with expressing yourself in another way. Again, this is something that is bigger than it should be in the tech industry. A lot of people do share a lot of memes and GIFs if you're in Slack channels and things like that. So if you're unfamiliar with those, I've helped a lot of people navigate the tech industry who are older, who didn't understand this. So put them here now so you can see them. And the other thing is that they'll actually help you understand some of the things on these slides, or remember different pieces. They're good markers, kind of like mnemonic things when you say something back to yourself to try to remember what it is. These can't operate in the same way. So, you know, they'll usually be on brand. So we'll throw them in there. All over the place. From a psychological standpoint, memes are very important when it comes to virtual communication. Yeah, exactly. I really do love to use them. It helps conveying meaning with, yeah, I love it. I do love it. So yeah, gotta learn how to use them. It's pretty important. Hey, yeah, absolutely. Gatekeepers. So gatekeepers are alive. I'm gonna give you guys a little pep talk a little bit later. Gatekeepers are alive. We'll talk about what gatekeeping is, but yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. So what I hope to see, there's some things that I hope to see. Active engagement in the chat and Discord. This is not for me, this is for you. The more you give to this, the more you'll get out of it. I 100% promise you, the more you give into it, the more questions you ask, the more things that you do, the more you participate and meet new people, the more you'll get out of it. And I'm not even talking about just learning. I'm talking about opportunities as well. The more people you talk to, the more people you connect with, can really open up your world to new things. So definitely be as active as you can, you know, in both of those things. It will help. I want you to ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask any question. Seriously, ask whatever question you like. No question is a dumb question. If it's already been answered, sure, we may point you back to a previous answer or something like that. But ask, if you don't know, ask, no matter how dumb you think it is. I can't tell you. I promise you, every question you ask, there are 15 other people around who have the same question, who are also who've been too afraid to ask it as well. So ask as many questions as you can, and then answer as many as you can. Even if you're not sure of the answer, do your best. Or even if you just learned the answer yesterday, it's okay to say, hey, I'm not 100% sure. I think I heard about this yesterday. I think this is the answer. This is a good way to practice, engaging with colleagues, engaging with other people, interfacing and working together to get to resolutions. But answer as many questions as you can. Do your best. Be open to other opinions about things, especially, again, if it's not a factual thing. Definitely be open to opinions about it. Learn how to have some civil discourse about things. That's something that, we've all been having a problem with lately. Let's try to answer as many questions as you can as well, and participate in that aspect. And then some affirmations of progress. I want to know when you've learned some things, no matter how small. And I should put this down here. You should write down all of the, I really want you to, at the end of every week, to run back over in your head and just start spouting off the things that now you know that you didn't know. I'm talking about words. I'm talking about, even if you don't know what the word means, like, hey, I've now heard this word in tech. I now heard the word Git. He said it. I don't really know what it is, but now I can look it up. But like, this is a new thing that I've learned. If you start to gauge what you've learned the same way that you would gauge like your weight, like if you're trying to lose weight and you're hopping on the scale, you can see that progress. You can see the incremental progress, and it helps you, if you lose 2 pounds this week, it helps you, be more motivated for the next week. The same thing kind of works here, and we generally don't do it's hard to measure how much you've learned. And so I really want you to make it a point to really be proud of the progress that you're making, no matter how small, and to be aware of it, to make sure you are kind of seeing it happen. Take a look at yourself in the mirror and kind of really understand the changes that you're making and the things that you're learning. Pretty important. Throw it out there on social media, because I do want to know about it, because I'm going to be doing the same thing. Like I said, I'm going to be learning a bunch of things as well with you. So yeah, that's what I hope to see out of you. You will get out of it what you put into it. And also, I'll save it for the pep talk, but every week's not gonna be the same. It is okay if you have a ton of energy this week and next week you don't have a lot of energy. Still do the things. You'll get it back. You'll ebb and flow, and some weeks and some days you'll feel better than others. It's okay. That is completely okay. Don't be hard on yourself at all. Do not be hard on yourself. It's okay if you miss a day here. It's okay if it's fine. It's fine. Every bit you learn, every bit is progress. Every single bit is progress, and then all will eventually work you towards your goal. We don't need to be speed racer. We're not trying to get there tomorrow, but we will get there. I'm getting my CompTIA Network Plus this week. Dope. Part of your degree program. I love it. I learned some amazing foundational knowledge. Yeah, so that is, so I was just actually talking with, if anyone's super interested in networking, Cisco networking, things like that, you should check out a guy by the name of Duan Lightfoot, or you can Google Lab Every Day. He has a YouTube channel. Pretty dope guy. He's got a CCIE and I think, or CCNP. I don't know what the certifications for that are. He's got some of them, but he's pretty dope. He's a good resource. But networking is for sure it's gotta be my weakest collection of concepts. It's gotta be. I know networking, but it's gotta be where I'm the weakest. And I really do want to up my skills in networking for sure. What's the best way to copy a file from my host to my Vagrant machine? Probably SCP. I'm assuming your Vagrant machine is a virtual machine. If you have SSH enabled, SCP is probably the easiest way. Yeah. Let's see. Learning how to learn. Yeah, I've seen that course before. I've heard good things about it. I do want to check that out. I pardon it. Absolutely. There's so much free content on the internet. I utilize a lot of it. For sure. Every day I utilize all the free content on the internet. It's pretty dope. Oh, that's another good thing. I forgot about this. We talked about it before. It is still in the works. We're just trying to, I have some interns, and they are one of the projects they're going to be working on is a platform called Cerebro. It's something we kind of started at the beginning of the year, but it was to create a platform where we could curate and aggregate the free content that's all around on the web. So it's an open source course generator, really, where you can generate courses from the free content that already exists on the web. You can put it all together into different units and stuff like that, and people can consume it and understand how much they've gone through it and how much farther they have to go and things like that. So I'm a huge fan of all the free content out there on the internet. It is also one of the big reasons why there's no required cost for this, and there never will be, because I think that this stuff should be available. Now, that's not to say there'll never be any paid trainings, but the bigger concepts and things like this, for sure, will always give it away. Yeah, I'll definitely, like, we're making good progress on it, but now, like I said, we're passing it off to the interns, really their apprentices, and so we're just trying to get them to the level where they can contribute to it effectively, before we completely open source it, to give them opportunity to start really building some significant pieces to it. So yeah. All right, so requirements. These are the requirements. So you can complete this course. There will be we will verify completion of this course, and we have methods to authenticate that you finish this and to confirm that you finish this, so that you can show it to employers or to whoever. But there will be 16 live sessions. Attendance, I can't confirm whether or not you attended. That's not even though it's a requirement, I'm just letting you know that's how many there are. Two per week, Mondays and Wednesdays. These will be available for Twitch for 14 days, and they will be up on YouTube 24 hours after. If you've been to my YouTube channel, if you hit !YouTube, you can get to the YouTube channel. There are a lot of past videos on there. I'm actually pulling almost all of them down. What will happen is, as we rerun courses, we will replace the ones that exist there. So there will only be, instead of being, a bunch of different Horizons courses and stuff, there will be one for each level at any given time on there, and they will get replaced as new ones come up. This is to make the channel cleaner, because we are about to start putting out weekly to 2 times a week videos on there that are about different things. We cover different things on the YouTube channel. Again, very specific concepts about navigating the industry and things like that, like imposter syndrome, stuff like that on there. Not so much tutorials. So yeah, that will be there. 7 quizzes. There will be 7 graded quizzes. They will start. I don't know if you have one this week. I think you have one this week. I think it's at the end of this week. There's one. But 7 quizzes, 3 exams. Again, these aren't going to be, this is like real life. So when you're at your job, you'll have access to the internet. These are not designed to kill you. These are not designed to be the hardest thing in the world. They're just designed to, help you kind of gauge where you're at and give you a chance to, hey, if I don't know these things, I can Google them. It's okay. I can go search these things more, just to give you some insight, some feel for where you're at. 3 exams and 12 GitHub assignments. So there will be GitHub assignments. You will be committing code in this course, and these are going to be auto graded. Most of them are auto graded. GitHub Classroom has some pretty dope stuff. You'll see an invite to that pretty soon, and I think on Wednesday inside of inside of Google Classroom, it will invite you to GitHub Classroom, where you can begin to set up your stuff, and you can actually submit assignments there. And so you will be receiving those as the weeks go on. Now, recommended for you to get the most out of this course, I really would like you to be spending at the very least 4 additional hours per week covering the supplied resources. So I'll give you videos, I'll give you readings to check out, I'll give you some assignments, I'll give you some little projects and exercises to try that may not be graded, but try those things out, read through those things. They really are going to be valuable. A lot of what it is to learn DevOps and all these big things, site reliability engineering, we're gonna need to immerse ourselves into the world of it, to the nomenclature. We're gonna need to hear the things, read the things, see it over and over again, to kind of cement it into our minds and to kind of get familiar with all the different things that are out there. So at least 4 hours per week covering the additional resources. I recommend that you come to 2 Saturday office hours, there will be 4 office hours. There'll only be 4. I recommend you come to 2, not necessarily to ask a bunch of questions, but people will be asking questions you didn't know you had at the office hours. So these will be Saturday mornings. I think it started like 9:30 Eastern time. I'll hang out for, I don't know how long I'll hang out for yet, but if people are asking questions, great. I'll stay as long as I can. If not, I will not stay on that long, but I'll be there on Saturdays. All the other Saturdays that are office hours, we'll actually be doing a series called Build, where I'll take you through a guided build series, like where we'll actually be spending 2 to 3 hours building a real application or a real product or something, and it'll be guided through. You'll have a little a Notion page that'll kind of give you all the different pieces, so that we can get to that endpoint, so that you can have something you can really work through. So that should be pretty fun. Do I have any good GitHub or Git tutorials? I do. We actually ran one called Tracks, which I will send to you. It is on my YouTube channel. There is a playlist for it, but I will send it over for sure. MS Learn has really great tutorials for a lot of stuff. It's pretty dope. But yeah. And then I also recommend for this class specifically that you take one of the other ones. So either Horizons or Decoded. This is not just to get you to take another course. This is because, again, DevOps is a very, very long path. It's a very broad path. There's a lot of different concepts in there. And both the cloud and programming are part of that path. So if you can, I think picking up one or the other, or all 3, maybe if you have the time, will really help, or at least provide you some insight. You don't need to go through it quite as stringently as this course, but just to kind of get familiar with these things. If you were trying to pick one, I would recommend the cloud one. And the reason why I recommend the cloud one over Decoded is because it's a little more immediately practical, and you can get a job off of just the cloud. So, you know, diving into the cloud concepts alone, I think are pretty valuable. Learning how to code, on the other hand, I think requires a few more steps of learning to be able to properly use it. The cloud one is Tuesday and Thursday. Oh, no, sorry. The cloud one is only on Fridays. Only Fridays. So it's a little bit longer, but only on Fridays. And Decoded is tomorrow, and Thursdays. So yeah. What are the requirements for? The requirements are just so that if you want to certify, and so really I should remove the 16 live sessions, but if you would like at the end of this course to certify completion, that you passed the course or that you completed the course, the 7 quizzes need to be passed, 3 exams, and 12 GitHub assignments. There will be opportunities if you fail a quiz or something like that. There are different versions of the quiz which you can, if you failed them and you would like to receive a passing thing, you can take another one, and you can take them until you get it right. Really, the goal is, again, not to stress you out. The goal is to learn the stuff, to be able to learn the stuff, to be able to go through a quiz and, cool, maybe I got 6 questions wrong on this quiz. You know, let me write these things down. Let me go Google them and watch a quick video on them, just for my own understanding. But the goal is, you know, just to expose you to as much as we can expose you to. So that's what it's for. And so we'll certify that you completed this once you're done. Yes, good question about the quizzes and the exams. The exams are due a week after. They're due 1 week after they're assigned. The quizzes are all due, like, I'll open them up now. So if you want to wait until the very end, I'll open them. They'll get opened the day they release. They won't be due, like, they won't close out until the last day of the bootcamp. So feel free to take those whenever you want to take them. But I think the longer you wait, you've passed. We just went over the stuff, so I would take it while you're fresh. But yeah, and the 3 exams will be due a week after they are assigned. The GitHub assignments, they have varying levels of openness because of how difficult some of them are. But yeah, how long will each session last? So each session is going to last between an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. So if you do exclamation point, maybe I didn't put it in there. Maybe I need to put an exclamation point schedule, but the schedule allots for 2.5 hours. They'll mostly be 2 hours. They'll mostly be from 7 p.m. Eastern time to 9 p.m. Eastern time for the most part. Today, we'll probably get out of here in another 30 minutes or so, hopefully. But yeah, usually it'll take 2 hours. We'll take breaks in there for sure. It's not going to be 2 hours straight through. We're probably going to try a few different things. I think I'm going to try first the 48 on, 12 off, where we'll do, that seems like a lot, but 48 minutes on where we're learning all the things, and then we'll take 12 minutes and we'll go through all the questions and chill for a little bit, stretch, relax for a little bit, go get some food and water, whatever you want to get, and then start back up and do it again. Yeah, we'll figure out, we'll see what works for us. I'm gonna get some water right now. So scheduled, it's not there. I thought that was a command. Let me add it really quick. Let's add a schedule command. Let me first, if you ever don't know where to go for things, if you go to academy.mastermind.io and click into the journeys, inside of each of the journeys, you can see this calendar here. And so let me just click on it. How do I get it? Settings and sharing, make available public, get shareable link. Let's copy this link really quick and let's do commands, add, schedule. Maybe I should call this calendar. We can do both. And add exclamation point calendar. Nope, not calendar, calendar. And do it again. So exclamation point calendar or exclamation point schedule will get you that Google calendar that you can add to your own calendar, which will help you out. That'll always exist. And you can see all of the stuff is on there. Yeah, and all these will be 8 weeks. And so actually, Horizons, for anyone taking Horizons, it starts an hour earlier. So I fully realize that people are going to have a hard time getting to this, especially if you're on the West Coast. But it's going to go from 6 to 9. So these will be about 3 hours because they're once a week. They'll probably take up the entire 3 hours. But you know, this is the only time I can fit in right now because because one, we didn't find another instructor yet, but we're trying to work that out now. And I wanted to be able to offer all 3 of these through this first part of the year. So yeah, Eric, thank you so much. Eric Amcar, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate it. If you want to find a full list of commands, that is a great question. Hit exclamation point commands and it will give you a link to Nightbot, which has all the commands that we have here. So at any given time, you should be able to find all the commands. I think we have 4 pages of commands on there. Some of them old, some of them new. It might, sometimes when you all type in commands, it might take a little bit for it to respond because I think it rate limits us. So if we're asking for too many, it'll happen. But there should be a bunch of commands in there that you can get. No, so the Horizons link has changed. I need to set it back to that. So I just rewrote the site. The site is now a React site. It was a Hugo site, but I have not written the components yet to do. I bought a Gatsby template, and then I modified a bunch of the stuff and wrote a couple of components myself. But I haven't modified it for the rest of the site yet. To get there, Horizons is, I'll just share this with you. There you go, right there, Indika. That's the Horizons link, directly to the Horizons link. If you go to academy.mastermind.io and go to the journeys, you should see the like link to Horizons, but you can see the curriculum and everything right there on that Notion page. Absolutely. All right, so syllabus overview real quick. So that's good that we were already on there. So you could either go to courses.mastermind.io or just Academy. Courses will take you directly to the Notion side of things where this stuff still exists. This will go away within the next couple weeks and it will all exist on academy.mastermind.io. But yeah, I got my Gatsby from Envato Market. Envato Market is where I got it from. or yeah, Envato Market. And I think they like have like Theme Force or something in here, and it found it in there. So I'm pretty sure I got it through Envato Market. And they had a bunch of okay ones. There's not a lot of Gatsby, like good Gatsby templates to buy yet. It was only like $19. It's pretty cool. Came with a bunch of different things. But I might have, like, it made it super easy to modify. Someone who, I'm not a great web developer. You know, my CSS is kind of weak, to be honest with you, but it worked out. And for tracks videos, yeah, no, I'll do that right now before we kind of get started. I forgot that I'm using, oh my gosh, what's this thing called? I'm not using Google right now, so it's really weird. I'm not signed in. That seems also weird, but now I am signed in. Let's see. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me see, playlist. I think Tracks is one of the ones. So people who've been asking about some of the later videos, I actually had a drive become corrupt, and I didn't have any redundancy on it, and I was able to recover some of the stuff, but not all of it. Let me see if Tracks was one of them. I thought I got Tracks up here. All right, so maybe Tracks is one of the ones that was gone. I thought I had Tracks on here. I guess I don't have Tracks on here. I have Git resources for you. So I will definitely get you those. I'll also check what I was able to recover and see if they're there, and see if I just never uploaded them after we got them off. But I do have redundancy now, everybody, so that won't happen again for sure. Yeah, True Naz, yeah, Unrated are definitely your friends. I do have a little Naz over here now, for that exact reason. You know, I didn't think I needed it at the time, and sure enough, you know, bad drive, just like that. I had never had a drive go bad on me before, ever in my whole life. I always either got a new computer before, or it just still worked. And so it was a surprise to me, hurt my heart a lot, I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, so here is your little pep talk, and maybe we'll get a little echo and reverb here. Well, maybe not. So you will get discouraged. You'll get confused. You will want to quit, but I promise you, you can do it. This is no different. Learning tech, learning anything is really no different than working out or really anything else in life. You know for a fact that if you want to run a 5K, you know that if you go out and you begin to practice and you start to take it easy, and first day, you run for a minute and walk for a minute, run for a minute and walk for a minute, and each day you step it up. If you go out and you do the work, that you'll be able to, that your body will get better, your breathing will get better, your cardio will get better, your heart will get stronger, and you will be able to run that 5K. You know that if you want to get stronger, that if you go to the gym and you lift the weights and you go consistently, and you keep making bits and bits of progress, you'll get stronger and stronger and stronger, and you'll be able to eventually lift the weight you want to lift. This is no different. If you stick with it, you will get better naturally. If you just keep coming back, if you just keep looking at it, if you keep reading the next thing, if you keep listening to the next podcast, if you keep watching the next video, if you just keep making progress, you'll get it done. I'm telling you, you'll get it done. I promise you, you'll get it done. It's much easier than you think, and learning tech is a lot easier than any of the other things. I mean, you don't even have to get up off your couch. You can do all of it from your couch, which is pretty comforting. Again, it is a mental game. There are things that are gonna, really set you up, especially when you get into the let's exit this again, and let's go into the Dunning-Krueger effect really quick. This is gonna happen to you as well. We're gonna start going through stuff, and up front it's gonna seem like, oh, this is easy, I got it. This makes a lot of sense, and you're gonna think you're super smart. Your confidence is gonna go way up, even though you don't have a ton of experience with it yet. But as you start to have to do more with the things, as you start to get asked more questions about it, as you start to experience this tool or this thing in different scenarios, you're going to start to realize that you don't know as much as you thought you did, and your confidence is going to drop off of a cliff into what is called the valley of despair down here. But again, if you stick with it, if you continue to get more experience, if you continue to see the things, talk about the things, understand the things, and eventually your confidence will go back up. But notice how this experience curve, your lowest confidence is right here in the middle. You have experience, you have way more experience right here than you do over here. But you're not confident, again, because you now know how much you don't know. You're starting to learn how much you don't know. And so it gets a little weird, but you know a lot. You know a lot at this point, but you just don't feel like you know a lot. And then it goes back up. Be careful of this. You'll fall into a little valley of despair no matter what. But keep that in mind. Power through it. This is, like I'm telling you, on the way down right here is where people quit. This is where people quit right here. I'm telling you, stick with it. I promise you. Just come back the next day. You know, if you want to quit on a Wednesday, say, cool. All right, I'll quit, but I got to come back Monday. I got to show up Monday, and I can quit after Monday. If I still want to quit after Monday, cool, I'll quit. But whenever day you decide to quit, come to one more class, read one more article, do one more thing after you decide to quit, before you quit for sure. It's, you know, it really is. The stakes are low here as well. So, you know, hopefully that helps you keep going. Like, you know, no one's going to yell at you. No one's going to be badgering you about getting stuff done. I know you all have lives outside of this. I know, you know, don't sweat all that, you know, just focus on learning the things, lean on each other. I think that's super duper important. Make some friends here, hop into the Discord, make some friends with each other. See if you can find an accountability partner, and work together through these things. And you know, make it so that your accountability partner's gonna be sad if you don't respond in Discord. If if you drop out and stop talking to them 4 weeks in, you know, they're gonna be upset. You know, make a real friend, play some games together or something. But you can do it. I promise you can do it. But these things will happen. Don't think these things won't happen. Get ready to fight. Get ready to experience these things. You can get through it. I promise you. All right. Here we go. So this is the meat and potatoes of tonight, the protein and potatoes. You know, everyone's not a meat eater, so protein and potatoes. The big stuff for tonight, all we're gonna do tonight is just get on the same page about DevOps and site reliability engineering. If you weren't sure what these things were before, tonight will be, I hope, a good introduction to you. I hope that it'll help you have a better understanding. Now, all these tech things, I understand they have a lot of buzzwords. We'll say a bunch of things that don't make sense. I'm going to do my best to break it down as much as possible so that it does make sense. But again, learning is not linear. Okay, so don't think, you know, you got to pick up this, then this, then this, and this to be able to learn whatever. It's not linear. If there are things out of today you don't understand, not a big deal. Keep going. You'll be able to fill those in at another time. You know, you can grab some stuff from over here, and then you can learn some stuff from up here. Then you can learn some stuff here, and you can say, oh, actually, this gave me what I needed to fill in the gap over here, and you can fill it in, and eventually your whole puzzle will be complete. But it's not linear. You know, you can learn different things at different times. Not a big deal. So don't get discouraged if you didn't pick up something. You don't need to go back and spend all your time here before you move on. It's completely okay. All right. So what the heck is DevOps? Automate all the things. All right. This is the de facto Wikipedia answer. DevOps, a clipped compound of development and operations. All right. It's a software development methodology that combines software development, that's the dev and DevOps, with the information technology operations, which is ops. All right, let's break this down so you can further understand it. So this definition is simply telling you that it is both development and operations. Great. It doesn't even tell you about really what it is. It does say it's a software development methodology. That's helpful. But it doesn't tell you anything else about it. It just says it's a compound word, basically. Development. This is traditionally the people who write the software. These are the people who are hands on keyboard writing your Java or your C, C++, whatever the coding language is. They are the application developers. These are the people you think about when you watch Mr. Robot and stuff, and you know, just typing away and all the stuff's going on the screen, and those are hackers, but software developers, they're making the thing. Ops traditionally are the people. These are the nerdy people, and again, this is just how society has presented this to us. these are the IT guys, okay? Ops are generally the people who keep the systems that are running the software. So these developers write software, they write applications, and then the operations people make those applications work. They serve them out to the public, they put them on systems, and again, usually they're presented as these nerdy guys sitting in a room. You know, we've all seen Office Space. He wasn't the IT guy, but nerdy dudes, glasses sitting in the corner, you know, drinking your energy drinks, you know, really weird. I don't know where all these things have come from, these cliches have come from, but there used to be a significant separation between development and operations. And there was always a disconnect, whereas development was designed to, hey, deliver the software fast, and operations was designed to keep things stable and keep things running. And so they were really at odds. But that's, you know, this is what Wikipedia says they are. Great, exciting, but not very good. Here is a better version, or what I believe is a better version of what DevOps is. So this was said by Nathan Harvey. Pretty amazing guy. Hopefully one day I'll be able to get him on the stream. This was said by him when he worked as chef, and they created this really cool DevOps Kung Fu article. Pretty dope. But what he said is DevOps is a cultural and professional movement focused on how we build and operate high velocity organizations born from the experiences of its practitioners. Now, a lot of words there. A lot of buzzwords, a lot of words that on their own might seem meaningless, but very, very important. So DevOps, the first line, it says it's a cultural and professional movement. Cultural, so culture, and professional movement. It does not say anything about technology there. It does not talk about any tools. It says it's a culture and cultural and professional movement focused on how to build and operate high velocity organizations. So it's really focused around, it's about changing the culture so that you can build and operate high velocity organizations. And it's been born from the experiences of its practitioners. It's born from what its practitioners have seen. It's born from experiences. Okay, so those are three really important things. So one, it's a culture. It's not a piece of technology. It's not it's a thing that you practice. It's not a thing that you do. It's a thing that you practice. And so it's also not an exact thing. And it's really designed around building software. It really is built around how do you build and deliver software fast and effectively. And again, born from the experiences of its practitioners. Very, 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 very important there. Any other chef users in the audience? I used to be a chef user for sure. So this is what that means. Think about the first definition where they really segregated development and operations. And they said, hey, the word is just development and operations stuck together. And I kind of told you what those things were. Here is the problem. Here's the problem with the separation between development and operations. And here's what all this really is for. So when you want to build something, okay, when a product needs to be built, when people don't just go out and build it, there's a lot of things that have to happen. When a company wants to build a feature or product or whatever they want to build, first, it's usually because it's going to, the business needs it. It's something that's needed for business to either make the company more money, to make the company more efficient, to ultimately earn them more money. The business is going to come up with a thing that they need, okay? The business is going to say, hey, it would be really beneficial to us if we had this thing. We have some developers. Hopefully they can go do it. They're going to take some requirements of what that thing needs to happen, and they're gonna toss it over this proverbial wall. So what would happen is if I'm working at a company and the company says, hey, we need to automate, we need an application to automate the processing of some PDF forms that get sent in. Maybe we have 300 PDFs that are submitted per day, and they need to be sorted and parsed, and the information needs to be input into a database. And right now we have we've hired some data entry people to do it, but we need to automate this thing. And they know what needs to happen. You as a developer, usually you wouldn't know what needs to happen. You're not usually keyed in on all those business things. And what used to happen would be they say, cool, that's exactly what we need. We need you to intake these documents. We need you to put them into a database, and the requirements will come over this wall. No conversation between the two really, or not much, where they toss it over this wall. They say, hey, we got the requirements. It is no longer our problem now. We've now given it to the development team. The development team, would take that, do its best to figure out what to do with it without having tons of communication between the business and them. And they, build what they thought, what they interpreted to be true. And then they tossed it over another proverbial wall. This wall of conflict here to the operations team. So development happens here, and they built the thing. They built the thing that satisfied the requirements. And then they toss it over the wall to operations. And the operations job is to get this thing onto the systems and for it to be served and available to the people who need to use it. So, looking for stability here and making sure this thing is up, available, accessible at all times, because it needs to process these things every day. So that's where we have a little bit of conflict here. We have a lot of conflict in that these people in the middle, these developers, they're incentivized to deliver features. They're paid to create software and deliver features. But operations, on the other hand, is paid to keep systems stable and up and available. All right. And so now we have these things, they're conflicting because you toss something over the wall. This operations person knows nothing about this release right here. If it breaks, what do? They pull it off the machines, they toss it back over the wall and say, hey, fix your stuff. And then they fix it and toss it back and say, hey, it's working, put it back on there. So it's not a really good way to do things. It's really, really uncomfortable. I've worked in places that were like this, a lot of places that were like this, because this is generally how things are done. There's a huge separation here. So this right here is what DevOps is designed to fix. It's designed to fix this connection between the developers and operations. It's not designed necessarily to combine them. It's designed to remove this wall and to have some communication between the two and understanding between the two. Operations should know about this piece of software and how it works, and development should understand how these things are served, and they should understand how the systems are set up so that they can they should all be on one accord with this thing. They should be working together to be able to deliver this piece of software and to make it accessible. Agile, we'll talk about Agile a little bit later, but Agile fixes this piece. It fixes the connection between the developers and the business so that they can have communication and they can talk about the things and they can, do negotiations and figure out what it is that everyone actually needs and how to deliver it as quickly as possible. But DevOps fixes this. It removes this tossing over the wall problem. Living Life, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. It's good to have you. Welcome. All right. Down. Cool. So what are the issues with this way? The way that this shows, what are the issues with this? The issues with this is that there's a long release cycle and a long feedback cycle. So it takes a really long time for things to get put out. And then it takes a really long time for you to get feedback on whether or not the thing you put out is doing what you actually wanted it to do. So this application or the requirements that were passed along, are these things actually meaningful? We don't know. The business thinks they're meaningful, but we need to collect metrics and understand if the thing that we put out is better. Maybe it's worse. So you need to be able to collect information on that. And that feedback cycle used to take a very long time. And that's pretty problematic because now you have something that may not be better out there for a lot longer. And then it takes you a lot longer to get the new thing out because release cycles take longer. Long mean time to fix. So when there are problems, it takes a long time for people to fix them. Why? Because every department has their own knowledge of what's going on. So maybe there was something missing from the requirements. That's actually causing a problem. Maybe the code isn't actually bad, but everything's going haywire because the logic was wrong because the requirements given were bad. Or maybe there is a development bug, or maybe there's an issue with the systems, but everyone has their own little piece, and no one knows the kind of full scope of what needs to happen. And so when you're trying to troubleshoot and you're trying to fix problems, it takes a long time to get to those end solutions and to know what's going on so that you can actually fix them. You also become reactive to issues in production rather than taking care of them beforehand. So you become reactive. You wait for them to happen, and then you respond to them. And so this is normal break fix stuff that a lot of people are used to, but you become reactive to those things. This is the one I just covered, but few or no people understand the entire software development lifecycle. So what we talked about over here is that this is an entire life cycle of a product, from conception over here to delivery over here. This is the full life cycle of that. And then the feedback, getting feedback, and the process starts all over again. No one understands this in the old way. No one understands the entire thing. Everyone only understands their pieces, and that's problematic. And what it does is it creates an adversarial IT environment. Remember, This operations person's job is to stabilize and to make sure systems work, whereas development's job is to deliver new features. And so what's the quickest way to break something that's stable? Is to implement something new to it and to introduce something new to it. So these people are always conflicting. It makes it adversarial. It makes it, hey, it's your fault that this is broken. It's your fault that this is broken. And that's problematic when we are all working towards the same goal. Okay, so that's the issues with the old way. That's why we don't want to do it that way anymore. And so what are the benefits of doing it the new way? It's all of the inverses of these things. Very quick release and feedback cycles, very quick mean times to fix. So no more long mean times to fix. You know, you're no longer reactive to production issues. You are fixing them proactively. You're able to see them earlier and fix them proactively. Everyone understands the entire cycle, or as many people as possible. And no longer do you have an adversarial IT environment. All right, so, whoops. Here is the iconic DevOps infinity loop, so you can kind of understand how the cycle works a little bit. And so it gets hard to know where to start here because it's an infinity loop. But let's start at the planning phase. So this is kind of where the business people are. They're here and they're planning out what needs to happen. Once they plan it out, the developers write the code. You know, they actually write the code to build the features. The features are built. So generally, whenever you write code, it needs to be built into some type of artifact that can be delivered to be deployed somewhere. So the code is written, then it is built into something that's usable. Then it's tested. This is a big piece of DevOps and SRE, site reliability engineering, is automated testing and making sure things are working. Once confirmed, things are released. They are put out into the world for people to see, or where the artifacts are delivered to be ready to be deployed. Then they're deployed out into the world for people to see and to use. They operate, so people are, you know, using the thing. We're monitoring it. We're seeing how it's doing. We're getting that feedback, and then that feeds right back into planning. Okay, and so this is where the iteration of DevOps comes in. This is why things like the long feedback cycle and the long release goes down. So whereas before we would build the thing, wait till it's complete and put it out. Now in DevOps, because we want to build these pipelines, we want to build these ways for people to do things faster, we put things out faster, and it's okay for them not to be perfect. And because we can quickly get feedback on whether or not they're good or bad, whether or not these updates were positive or negative, and we can quickly iterate on those things and get them back out. So we constantly are following this pipeline. We're planning it, we're writing the code, we're building that code, we're testing it, we're releasing it, we're deploying it, operating it, and then monitoring it. It feeds it right back in over and over and over again. Okay, it is a pretty it's a pretty amazing cycle. And the first day you ever see this, like you ever see this realized, it's so impressive. The last place that I worked for a contract with the Better Business Bureau, worked for a software company called Fearless here in Baltimore. Dopest company I ever worked for. I worked at a lot of places. But our project was Greenfield, basically. Well, it wasn't Greenfield, but we were doing we were building a Greenfield project and doing a migration from an older product. And when we finally got to the point where we were doing this, it just felt so good. Like we could, at any given time, we could be from from the developer's computer out into production in like 12 minutes, if that. And we went from doing bi-weekly releases, like big releases that took 4 and 5 hours, to releasing 10 times a day. And just, hey, well, the thing's done, go ahead and get it out there, like just automatically. It's pretty nice. It's pretty dope for sure. All right, so key DevOps principles. These are the main pieces of DevOps that you that DevOps wants to do, and that are pretty important. So one is to break down the silos. Those silos are those proverbial walls here, and break down the different departments who are not speaking to each other. It's breaking those silos down so that we can all get into the conversation. You've probably heard a lot of cool things like DevSecOps and DevTestOps and all these different star ops things that we're going to talk about more and more. It's designed to break those things down so that everyone has an understanding of what all these things are. The second thing is to automate all the things. Humans are fallible. You make mistakes. I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. I have fat fingers. You might have fat fingers as well, which means you can type things in wrong. There's stories of companies losing millions off of fat finger problems on a single server. So, we want to automate as much as possible. Computers, they do what they're told. At least right now, we've all seen iRobot. In the future, this may not be the thing, but this may not be true anymore. But right now, it's true. A computer will do what you tell it to do. So the more and more we can automate, the more we can be, the more we can rely on our work and believe in what we're doing, and be confident that the thing that we set up is going to work. And the last thing is that failure is an opportunity to learn. This is the biggest one. Failure is an opportunity to learn. This is a big part of DevOps. It's okay to fail in DevOps. It's okay for something not to work. It gives us really meaningful feedback. And if we're doing things even remotely correctly, we'll have, it'll be easy for us to make changes and to pivot and to figure out what to do right. Okay. So fail fast, definitely fail fast. It is absolutely an opportunity to learn. So major keys, remember these things. These are not the only principles, but these are kind of the key DevOps principles that I think are really, really important and that it is trying to do. Keep these at the front of your mind. AI Luna 19, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Good to have you. Welcome to the family. All right, so those were the principles. Here are the key DevOps concepts that we're going to be running through, and I'm going to show you guys a DevOps roadmap in a second. But programming and automation, operating systems concepts, server management, networking and security, CI/CD. CD, we'll talk about that. You probably haven't seen the second CD there. Infrastructure as code, cloud computing, and observability. Now, we're going to look at this roadmap, which covers these exact same things, but in a more visual way. But DevOps, to most people, or to a lot of people, it usually covers number 5. It's usually like, I do server stuff, so the 3, number 5 and 6 are maybe 7. It's like 3, 5, 6, and 7 are generally what people think of. Like, hey, infrastructure as code makes it DevOps. That's what a lot of people think. CI/CD and infrastructure as code, that's DevOps. Or CI/CD in the cloud, that makes it DevOps. That's what DevOps is. And that might be at some places. You don't need to do all of these things, but these are the major concepts that you need to kind of solve to be able to enable the culture of DevOps and to practice these methodologies. And let's look at that really quick. Actually, let's look at this slide first. So, continuous delivery and continuous deployments. That's what the CI/CD is. It's continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment. And so the second CD is not always super valuable, but all good. Thank you. First off, I missed a lot of follows. I'm sorry for all the follows that I missed. I just realized my alert sounds are super low. I will try to go back and get all the follows, but I did hear that one. So be back, Electronica. I'll try it. Thank you so much for the follow. Miko, no, Shinobi, thank you so much for the follow as well. Like I said, I'll try to get back and get all the other followers. I do appreciate having you here. So let's look at this. So DevOps is a culture, we talked about that, but it is enabled by tooling. So DevOps is not the tools. This part is very key. If you don't remember anything else tonight, remember this part. DevOps is not, the tools are not DevOps, but the culture of DevOps is enabled by the tooling. It needs the tooling to be a thing, okay? And so there's a lot of different tools here, and you can already see that this picture is overwhelming. And this is why people are always like, oh my gosh, like this is the most wild thing ever. Note that there are categories here of tools. Not super important that you spend a ton of time looking at this, but there are categories of tools, and that's what you're going to end up learning, and that's what the roadmap that we're about to look at is for. The goal is to basically learn a thing in each of these categories. That's all you need to do. Yeah, learn a tool, pick a tool, pick the most popular tool in each category, learn it, understand what problem it solves. You don't necessarily need to learn it, but understand what problem it solves, and how you can use them together to solve problems. And once you figure that, like once you start to understand the different like categories, I think it gets pretty easy after that, but it's different for everyone. Dorian, thank you so much for the tier 3 sub. I appreciate the love Thank you so much. It is, again, good to have you. I do appreciate you for sure. Let's see. We'll look at some JDs in a little bit, but this is if you are already in the Google Classroom, the link for this is already in there. But roadmap.sh, this is a great site. It's got a lot of GitHub stars because it's pretty dope. Not perfect, but really good. But it makes these developer roadmaps for different concepts and technologies, and it's super valuable. And this is really good. And we are heavily we're following this pretty closely, actually. So this is, this roadmap looks super overwhelming. You're like, how in the world? Whoops, what is this? Why won't this go away? Is this an ad? Okay, whatever. You might say, how in the world am I supposed to learn all this stuff? You don't need to. Notice how these are major categories. Look at the big yellow piece. Learn a programming language. And then they give you a bunch of options on the left and the right. And the purple check marks, there's green and purple check marks. The purple check marks are the recommended thing to learn out of all the different categories. So programming language. So they recommend learning Go. I also, in Decoded, we will be primarily focusing on Go. Go will be the language that we're primarily focusing on, not because it has nothing to do with this though. There are a number of reasons why it's a good language to learn. If you are going through this course and you are trying to pick up a coding language and this is your main goal, I would actually recommend that you learn Python. If you're trying to pick up all the rest of this DevOps stuff and you're trying to get into a coding language, you're starting to pick up programming, I would spend my time focusing on Python actually than Go. The reason why is because Python, there's, it's a little easier to get into and to get going with. There's less concepts that you have to worry about. Go will make you a better programmer overall in the future. Your goal is to be really good and you want to do a lot of development, learn Go. Python will get it done. So that's my recommendation. Do as much research as you want, but I recommend Python. I recommend Python if you are learning this stuff. If you're learning DevOps, SRE stuff, and this is your first programming language you're trying to learn, I recommend learning Python. If you're trying to learn how to code, I highly recommend Go. I absolutely highly recommend it. Go is a Java clone? No, not a clone. Not a clone at all. It is a statically typed compiled language like Java is. I would never tell anyone to learn Java over Go, even though there are more Java jobs. Java is super verbose. No, gross. Go is more like C. No, Go's more like Java than C. But I mean, it's fast. But I mean, it's not really C. Like it is more of a systems language, but it's not like C. No, you do not need to go. You do not need to know anything as a prerequisite to anything that we need to do here. No prerequisites here. What if we may see again? Yeah. Yeah, so I would recommend, like I said, if you're trying to check them out, we will be touching both. We'll be doing about 65% Go and 35% Python in the software course. Again, the reason why that is because Go, a compiled language like Go, a statically typed compiled language like Go has more concepts that you have to worry about than a dynamic language like Python. And I think it's important that if you're going to start your software journey, that you touch those things and you understand those things. And so that's what we're going to be spending most of our time in Go. And to me, besides C#, Go is the easiest. To me, Go is the no-brainer first compiled language to learn. Personally, I've looked around. I've done a lot. Go is the perfect middle ground. I think it's much less verbose than Java. I think it's a lot simpler, a lot cleaner, a lot faster to get up and running. C#, I think C# does a good job of that as well. I generally stay away from .NET stuff, but I think that Go is a little bit better of a thing to kind of hop into first. Yes, I do have a recommended Golang course. Whoops, I did not mean to close that. So first, let's go back into roadmap, and my recommended Go course is from Udemy. And there's a guy, and so it's interesting because I thought this was the best course ever, but it was the best for me. It is not the best for everybody. And I learned that after passing it to my interns. And let's see, I'm gonna do Golang. What's the guy's name? His name is Todd McLeod. This to me was the best course in the world. I'll share this. I loved it. It is the reason why I love it so much. He's a quirky guy. I'll tell you that right now. He's quirky. He's not for everyone. He was great for me. The reason why I like this course is because it is not a Go course. It is a software course. He's a professor, I'm pretty sure, but he dives deeper into software, into concepts that are important that aren't just Go specific. And he's kind of just using the Go programming language as the medium for this. I found it to be super thorough. It's very long. If you do everything, what is it, like 46 and a half hours of on-demand video? That's a little too much. I didn't go through everything. I skipped around a lot, but I found it to be very valuable. I found it to be extremely valuable. There are videos where the guy is in his garage drinking from a red Solo cup and he's obviously toasted, and but I liked it. He was very knowledgeable, and for me it worked. But that is a recommended Go course for me. Another one, once you kind of get into Go a little bit, and this is going to be something that I recommend when we do get deeper into Decoded, is on Pact Publishing. I know a guy, he's actually the person who got me into Go originally. His name is Johnny Borsico, and there's a Go Standard Library Solutions course. This is the video. Yeah, this is this. And so this is super helpful once you get into it a little bit farther. And the reason why I like it, by Johnny Borsico, yep. And the reason why I like it is because the Go Standard Library is very powerful. Something about Go is that they try to give you, all the tools and things that you needed to be great, and nothing else. They don't want to give you a bunch of magic. And so the Standard Library is pretty powerful, but it's hard to learn all the things in it. And so Standard Library Solutions really helps you learn how to use what's available to solve real problems. So I found that to be pretty helpful. But yeah, well, those are two things that help me that I love. But yeah. Python course, I don't have any good Python courses. The reason why is because I'm not someone who picked up programming super easily at all. And I tried to learn how to, I dove into learning Python like 6 times before I got it. I'm not even joking. Maybe five times. I like attempted to get into coding and Python, and I failed every time. I just gave up every time. And I feel like I got it after doing a combination of things. The Python Bible was okay, and like going through W3 schools and stuff. I don't know. I don't even really know how I got to learn it. I think I just started to use it on a job, and it helped. And I just picked up stuff every which way. But I don't have a good specific resource for Python. 100 Days of Code, I'll check that out. Dope. That actually looks Python Pro Bootcamp for 2021. I will be buying that right now because it's $9.99. Another pro tip for anyone who is new to Udemy, to this site right here: never buy any course when it's not on sale. Everything goes on sale like very often, like every week or something. It's stuff's basically always on sale. If it's not on sale, don't buy it. Do not spend more than $13.99 on a course. Do not spend more than $13.99 on a course. Most of the time it'll be $9.99. Do not spend more than $13.99 on a course. Sometimes you'll get to a course and it'll say $50, $100. Do not buy that course. Wait a week and it will be on sale, and buy it for $9.99. Trust me. Do not buy it for more than $13.99. All right. So that is let's go back to the roadmap. So after we learn a programming language, it says, hey, check out different operating system concepts. So this is basically learning Linux, to be honest with y'all, and understanding how computers kind of work and how the operating system works. This part is very important. And this part takes a little bit of time. We're going to dive into it a bit. But we're not going to get we're not going to be a pro at all these things, but you'll have an understanding of all these. This is why they're all purple. Everything is checked purple because you got to know all these things, or it's helpful to know all of these things. Learn to live in the terminal. So getting real good at You know, the command line, I can help with that for sure. I live in the command line. You know, I love it. Once you rip off the band-aid and get comfortable with the command line, it really does change your life, the way that you do things. Operating system, they recommend that you learn Linux. Absolutely, 100% learn Linux. Do not learn anything else. So there's nothing wrong with Windows. Nothing wrong with Windows, but if you weren't aware, Linux runs the world. You interact with Linux systems every single day. Even if you don't know it, Linux runs the world. It is important for you to know this thing. Even if you are going to go the Windows route, please learn Linux. Linux is so important that Windows now ships with a Linux kernel inside of it. Okay, you can get a Linux kernel inside of it. I have Linux. I have it installed right now. You know, it's that important. So just Linux is the way to go. These are just different distributions, different versions of Linux, different packaged up versions of Linux. We'll talk about distributions and what those really mean. So you got some options there. You know, it tells you how to all of this right here, everything in this giant, actually, you know, this is exactly what I got the pin for. So check this out. Everything that is in, check this out. Everything in, let's scroll down a little bit. Yeah, you see that, y'all? Now I can say everything that is in this box or this circle. This is a terrible color. It really goes, wow, it's actually more than this. You know what? How do I undo that? Red. All this stuff, like all of these things are basically Linux concepts. Linux and like systems. You know, a bunch of stuff. Well, I'll save that, but like it's super important. People always ask like, oh, how much Linux do I need to know? A lot. A lot for sure. Bash scripting and then PowerShell process monitoring, all this stuff. Pretty darn important. Okay. So all that stuff, then we're gonna get into the web stuff and running web servers and understanding different web protocols and all this stuff. It gets crazy. Every time I go through this list, I'm always surprised that like, it's crazy to me that I understand all the things on here. I feel like, you know, it's just a matter of time before you will as well, but it's just, seeing this up front is pretty overwhelming, but you know, you pick it up. It's all related to each other. But learning all that stuff, learning different OS concepts and the network and security, and this is the piece that you'll like the most. Infrastructure as code. Most likely that's the part that people really think of when they think about DevOps. This is when we're gonna get into things like containers and Docker and writing Docker files and Ansible and Chef and Puppet and Kubernetes and, you know, Terraform. Terraform is probably, if you were gonna learn one thing, well, two things on this whole thing, I think these are the two most important things on this entire list. Is Docker and Terraform. If I'm going to be 100% honest with you, Kubernetes is a close third, but I think it's going to be pretty valuable for you to learn Docker first and to kind of understand how containers work. But yeah, Tech Beck, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. Everyone who received a gifted sub, please thank your gifter Tech Beck. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the support. I genuinely appreciate it. That's gonna really help me figure out how to buy more socks for everybody. You know, we're trying to get socks for everyone pretty soon, so I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate it. All right, let's see. I missed a lot of this stuff. I am, so that's true, D-Flare. I'm pretty confident now. The slope down, you know, the slope down happens pretty often, but remember when I told you in the beginning, I'm a skier, okay? I like to ski. So, you know, when the downward slope comes, I will put on my skis and I'll ride into the valley of despair, and then I'll carry the speed right back up. That's how you got to do it. That's definitely how you got to do it. Then Linux and Mac OS are children of Unix. Yes, they are both Unix-like operating systems. Legally, you have to say Unix-like. Yeah, they're essentially children of Unix. They're very similar. Unix is very similar to Linux. They've got differences for sure, but they are pretty similar. How hard is it to get into DevOps compared to other tech fields? I think it's would DevOps be an easier field to get into? No, DevOps would be harder. The reason why is because it covers so many different things. Notice the very first thing in the list, So you put a developer in there. Notice the very first thing is learn a programming language. So development is coding and learning a programming language, and you have to do the exact same thing. You're expected to know these things in DevOps as well. You're expected to know so many different concepts. DevOps is hard to get into. That can be discouraging. I understand that can be discouraging. We've said it on the channel before that DevOps is there's no JV almost. It is very hard to walk into a DevOps role without having done something else first. But do not be discouraged by that. Your pursuit of these DevOps concepts makes you eligible for a bunch of other different jobs in the field. You can get a job only knowing a programming language. You can get a job. You can get a job only knowing Linux. You can become a Linux administrator only knowing Linux. You can get a job, as a web administrator only learning these web concepts. You can get a job as a release engineer. You can do a lot if you can kind of get this CI/CD stuff. They have like cloud stuff on here. You learn a single cloud. You can become a AWS administrator or a cloud administrator. Learning a single section of concepts here can get you a job. And so, although you may not have the title of a DevOps engineer, you can make substantial money in the field in your pursuit of being a DevOps engineer. And like I said, this stuff it overlaps with literally everything else. And so the goal is to, again, keep moving to pick up enough to be able to get to where you want to get to. All right, Ansible Puppet, still definitely pretty powerful. Ansible is definitely the one to learn nowadays. They're great because of the way things are moving. Runtime configuration to me is not as much of a focus. We'll talk about what all that means later, but still super popular, still super powerful. We're gonna build some stuff with Ansible here in this class, so don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Excuse me. We'll touch all of these infrastructure as code things. All right, so let's finish up the last few slides really quick because there aren't many more. We'll take a look at some job descriptions in a second. Let's run through site reliability engineering because there's only a few slides on that. All right, so we talk about DevOps a lot, but what is site reliability engineering? According to Wikipedia, again, it's a discipline that incorporates aspects of software engineering and applies them to infrastructure and operations problems. The main goals are to create scalable and highly reliable software systems. Underline, I don't think I can underline it yet. Underline that line. The main goals are to create scalable and highly reliable software systems. That is the main goal right there. According to Ben Traynor, the founder of Google Site Reliability Engineering Team, SRE is what happens when software engineer is tasked with what used to be called operations. What's funny is this Wikipedia answer is amazing. This is a phenomenal Wikipedia answer. With the main point being that the main goal is create scalable and highly reliable software systems. The focus here is the software system. And so also notice that in the first line, it says that it incorporates aspects of software engineering and applies them to infrastructure. So if you look up job descriptions, which we're about to do, site reliability engineering nets more than DevOps does. Even though I think DevOps gets more of the glory, and I think more people know about DevOps than site reliability engineering, this incorporates a little bit more money. This was a discipline that was quite literally formed out of Google. It was created by Google. They wrote the book on it literally. This is what they use to be able to handle and support their massive global systems. They use site reliability engineering teams. I want to be clear here that traditionally this person knows a lot of software. This person writes a lot of software. Yes, the focus is on the systems. Yes, it seems very opsy. At many big name places, this is a really good software engineer who knows how to use this stuff to support systems. Yes, there's a tons of overlap. We're gonna show a Venn diagram. We're gonna make a Venn diagram one day about the overlaps between these things, but that's traditionally what it is. Now, both the terms DevOps and site reliability engineering get used by everyone, however they want to use it. So there's tons of overlap. A lot of people use site reliability engineering to mean, hey, I just need someone who's responsible for my systems. I need a sysadmin who knows how to write a little bit of automation. And some people use that same definition they use for DevOps. So they are, I would say that the terms are interchangeable for about 50% of the entire industry, to be 100% honest. If you are, when you're moving into this space, you should be looking at both site reliability engineering jobs and DevOps jobs. But again, generally the goal of the site reliability engineering team is to focus on the systems to make sure they're up and available, but they are writing software to support these efforts. They are software engineers usually. It's usually pretty important that you know software to be able to do this. So picking up a programming language really helps a lot. And this is something that a lot of people don't know when we talk about these things, because it doesn't sound, I mean, it sounds like you're working on the systems, which you are, but you're writing a bunch of software. So what's the difference here though? The difference is focus. What you're focused on, what their original intention is. And so this is specifically about how they're defined rather than how they practice in real life. So SRE is focused on the reliability of a system. Okay. They said that before. It's focused on the reliability of a system, whereas DevOps is focused on the development of an application. Okay. So DevOps is focused on the development. You are, as a DevOps engineer, honestly, your real client, your real customer is the development team. That is who you're supporting. You are building pipelines. You're building automation to support speed and reliability of developing the application. Whereas the SRE is focused on building the reliability of the systems themselves. So that's the main focus difference. There's a ton of overlap. I don't want to leave it at that because actually let me switch to the playlist because that one's over. There's a ton of overlap there. This is ideally how this thing should work. This is ideally how they differ. But at a lot of places, the people who do DevOps are also responsible for the reliability of the systems at a lot of places, at most places probably. And so you will still be doing things that an SRE would do. And a lot of places, SREs have to help build the pipelines, the CI/CD pipelines and stuff to support the development of the application. So there's tons of overlap. People use these terms interchangeably, like way too much to be 100% honest, but there is a difference. And I want you to know that difference is focused on either the systems themselves or the developers and the applications that they are building. So it's a very light introduction to them both. There are many concepts, there are many pillars, there are many practices that exist in each of them, and that is what we're going to be covering over the next 8 weeks. That's why we're not diving all the way deep into both of them right now. We're going to get a light introduction, something for you to kind of chew on, go back over and read over and look over and see if you can understand a little bit more. I want you to go watch a bunch more videos about it because different people explain it differently. But yeah, you might not understand what we say when we say setting up pipelines and things. You're going to learn all of that. This was just to get you introduced for you to hear the words that we're talking about and all that stuff. So this is supposed to be the end. Let's look at a couple of job descriptions. That's the end of the slides. Let's look at a few job descriptions real quick and ask whatever questions you want. I'll have time to actually look at the chat now. Ask your questions. We'll try to hit as many of us as we can. We won't stay too long over because I need to go spend some time with my lovely wife. Like I said, we're trying to get on the schedule so that we're prepared when the little one comes. But yeah, let's look at some salaries real quick and let's look at some job descriptions. And you'll notice, actually you won't notice because I didn't schedule it. Let's see if I didn't schedule it. What happened? Okay, well, let me edit this really quick. Look for the following. I don't know what happened here. Okay, and write down. So what this assignment is going to be tonight, well, for the next week, you can do it whenever you want. But it's going to be to head over to your favorite, we're going to start it right now. But I want you to head over to your favorite job search site. I want you to look at the following different job postings, look for the following job postings and write down all of the technologies and concepts that you see. for each of them. And then I want you to start to make some comparisons. I'll write this in a second. I want you to start to make some comparisons to see how much overlap there's a ton of overlap between them. And so what I want you to do is I want you to look up 3 DevOps roles. I want you to look up 3 SRE roles. I want you to look up 3 systems administration roles. And 3 cloud sysadmin roles. And so this course is designed around understanding how to deliver software, how software delivery happens, what supports it, automation and infrastructure that supports it. And so these are 4 common job titles that support these things. And I want you to take a look at these things. I'm just gonna sign it now, and I'm gonna add another little line here. Let's put it under day 1. Yeah, it's fine. Assign it now. It's an ungraded assignment, but I want you to write them down, and I'll show you what I want you to look for. All right, real quick. My favorite job site right now is Indeed. Man, this is not Google Chrome, and it's really messing me up right now. That is not Indeed. All right, so you can choose wherever you want in the world. Again, I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, but now, in the it's Baltimore's over here. Due to COVID, really the world is your oyster, to be 100% honest, and will be well into the future. You are getting into this at the perfect time because your opportunities have opened up to you worldwide, to be 100% honest with you. And if you do, so those the Colombian kid, those classroom codes are wrong. Do register instead. Do ! Register. And that link will, if you just run through that really quick, it'll send you all the registration codes to your email. I actually need to delete those classroom codes. Those are old. So just if you go in here and you type in DevOps, and you start to see what you get, and you'll start to see there'll be some mix. So this one's specifically around AWS and senior DevOps engineer and junior DevOps engineer. And so if you start to look at them, it'll start to list, this is interesting. This junior one, which I would fully have expected to show some standard things, is actually pretty clean here. They don't really give you any specific tools or anything like that, which is great. This actually really makes me pretty excited to see. There are a lot more junior DevOps roles starting because people need people entering this much earlier than they have been. So that's really not a good one, actually. But when you start to get through to them, you'll start to get listings of different things. And what you'll start to see is that as you look through them, you'll start to see the same patterns of a line that just mentions that you should have some type of programming language under your belt. Okay, like something you can do some automation with. And then you'll have something that says, hey, you need to know a little bit about Windows or Unix servers or operating systems. Isn't this start to look exactly like the roadmap we just looked at? And then you'll see a line that says cloud experience in AWS. And again, if we go right on back to this thing, look, cloud providers right here. Then we go up and we have learn a programming language right here, and OS concepts right here, operating systems right here. These are things that are in the list, okay? But what I want you to start to write down is things like JavaScript, Python, Java, Windows, Unix, AWS, CloudFormation. Write down the specific, these specifics that are called out. CI/CD tools such as Bamboo or Jenkins. Write those things down. Docker, well, they meant Docker right here, but container experience. Containers is on this list too. It's down with the infrastructure as code, I think, but containers is right here. Okay. And so this is a section on here. But the more and more you look at these things, check this out. This is a Linux administrator. This is, if you actually looked deeper into this one, it's going to have some of that stuff in there as well. Experience with AWS cloud services. There's probably something in here, Puppet and Ansible. There's some stuff about here, Linux OS stuff. There's going to be a lot of overlap between all the things that are supporting, infrastructure automation, the things that are supporting the delivery of software. You're going to see a lot of overlap here. So take a look at them, write down those things, start to get to know what you're looking for and what people are looking for, what companies are looking for. Again, you'll start to see a lot of the same things over and over again. And mid-level site reliability engineer, ugh, like this has too many words on it. I don't even want to read it, but you know, Windows, Unix, Linux, OS. Let's see if we can pick out just some interesting things. Cloud systems administrator, experience writing software, Perl, Python, or Ruby. You know, this is distributed products. Yeah, I mean, they're all going to be very similar. For me, yeah, you know, over here, clear space. Let's actually type in site reliability engineer. So also, one thing you're going to see is you are going to see many more DevOps jobs than site reliability engineer jobs. The reason why this is generally site reliability engineering is something that is also implemented at scale. Generally, a company that has, you know, two products, just an information, a website, and some type of system for their devs or something, they're not going to need a site reliability engineer. They're going to hire a site reliability engineer. Site reliability engineering generally comes in at larger scale. So generally, you're going to find these at larger companies. And so in Baltimore, we don't have a lot of big tech companies. And so we're probably not going to see I'm not going to see as many site reliability engineering roles here as you would probably see if you're in the Bay Area or something. And again, it comes down to a couple different things. One, if we look at Glassdoor and we look at what these things are netting, putting site reliability engineering down nets people more money. Sure, there are gonna be plenty of them, but I guarantee you there are gonna be more DevOps roles. But again, like I said, these net you more money. And so people don't want to pay all that money if they don't have to. There's not always the need. And so, in Baltimore, I'll do salaries, I'll do DevOps. And again, where you live dictates these things. So make sure you're checking near you or somewhere where you know you can get the money. And so DevOps, it says 85 is the median. I think that's low. Okay, well, 85 is probably low even for this area, to be honest. And if I go do site reliability, change this to salaries again. Site reliability engineer, this should be a lot more. 91. So $6,000 difference there. Wherever you go look in the country, there's going to be a difference between the two. But again, I wouldn't. The job postings and stuff are the same when you're looking for these roles. Whenever I'm looking for a role, I've done both. I've done site reliability engineering. I've done DevOps. I actually prefer to do DevOps work. So site reliability engineering roles, like you're going to be on call. You are the arbiter of that system. DevOps, there's a high probability that you will be the person who has to respond to those system problems. Because your focus is the delivery of the software, that's where your job can stop, to be 100% honest. Generally it doesn't, but it might. And so you have a little more opportunity to not be on call. I hate being on call, to be 100% honest, but it's part of the job. Definitely part of the job. And burning, yes, most SREs I've heard make 150K plus. That's facts. That is 100% facts. 150K plus. Like, these numbers are low. I'm going to tell you right now, at least in Baltimore, even in Baltimore, these numbers are low. They are low. Absolutely, most SREs make 150K plus, but you earn it. Well, maybe you earn it. You're responsible for the big stuff, to be honest. But the goal is to do a bunch of different things to make it so that your life is easy. But yeah, I was on Glassdoor. It wanted me to like put a salary in before I could see any more stuff, but that was super weird. I do like QA automation engineering. I learned more about testing in the last 4 years than I've learned anywhere. And I find it to be one of the most interesting, yet scary areas of tech, to be honest. Learned a lot about it, and we should do some stuff with it. I'm fairly well versed in it. In QA automation engineering, I've written all kinds of different things. I've used all kinds of different QA automation tools to do full end-to-end testing. And it's very interesting. The job is hard. Testing's hard. Testing's very difficult to do right, to make what you're doing meaning, like to it's hard to know how to make your tests meaningful. It's tough. It's definitely a tough job. For sure. But yeah, go through, check out some stuff, explore these things so you can start to become familiar with what all this is going to entail. And yeah, we're going to go through, we're going to learn these things. So I think we actually did not go over the entire journey real quick, but just so you can see what we're going to be hitting over the next few weeks. Like I said, week one's always pretty chill. We'll just talk about, the what's and the whys really quick. We're going to talk about roles and stuff next time. Money, a little bit deeper into the money conversation. And we're going to start doing some dev environment setup on Wednesday. Then we're going to dive straight into Linux. So all next week, we're going to be learning Linux. This does not mean you need to install VirtualBox or anything like that. You can. Absolutely, you can. There are I have a bunch of different options for people to be able to dive into this easily. We're not necessarily, the goal is not really necessarily to learn how to install Linux, it's to learn how to use Linux. And so if you want to, there's some easy options for it. One of the easy options that I recommend for a lot of people, just because it's going to be free for you, is underneath the video. Linode is a channel sponsor, but they give you $100 of free credits. I use one of their $5 VPSs, and I'm going to be using it for most of our stuff here to hop in and learn Linux in the way that you would use it at a job. Completely free to you. I don't think you have to put in a credit card or anything. So if you don't have a computer for it, or you don't, I don't know, and you're not sure how you want to do it, that's a way. If you're already using a Mac, you should be fine. There's going to be a few slight differences. Mac is based on Unix. It's a Unix-like operating system. So there are going to be a few commands and things that might be different, but we might not hit any of those. So if you're on a Mac, you should be fine. If you're on a Windows machine, a newer Windows machine, and it's a Windows 10 machine, you can install the Windows subsystem for Linux. I will share that. I'm gonna share that with you all next time as well. But Google it if you don't know about it. The second iteration is out. The first one will work just fine for what we're doing. But the second iteration is out. This is that kernel that I was talking about that ships in Windows. It works. It's amazing. It's so good. I'm super impressed by what they've done. But if you have Windows 10, this will 100% do for you. Or if you are more comfortable with setting up a VM, I can show you how to, we'll walk through that as well, showing you how to set up a quick virtual machine with VirtualBox. So you can set up your own VM to do that as well, if you prefer to do it in that method. There's also a few websites that we can use as well. If you don't want to do any installations and you just want to practice some of the commands, you can do that as well. But yeah, like I said, you got a lot of options here. I'm probably going to be, again, logging into the VPS to do it, just because I'll probably do it here locally because it might be easier to show it to you back and forth from a desktop. But yeah, Windows subsystem is phenomenal. So good, to be 100% honest. This is the only thing that I traded away, performance across the OS file system. This bottom part here, a little bit problematic, but yeah, it's a really good product. So yeah, if you're on a Mac, you're fine. One thing, man, I didn't really think about it, is for Decoded at least. I do not think Go, if you're one of those people with the new fancy schmancy Macs, with the M1 chips, I do not think Go has I don't think it has a binary for ARM yet. This could be problematic. Yeah, I know Docker doesn't work on them either. Well, all good. Either way, all good. We'll figure it out. I'll try to figure out a workaround. Maybe I broke a lot of things, including Docker. Yeah, I'll figure it out for you all. I forgot. I didn't even think about this, to be honest. But I am aware of it now. So I'll figure that out. So hopefully I'm gonna try to, yeah. And now I need to figure out some options for people who do have M1 Macs, if anyone does. They're cool though. I'm not gonna lie to you all. I'm not an Apple user. Well, I'm not a Mac user. I have an iPad and I love my iPad, to be honest. I don't use iPhones right now, but I love Apple. I think Apple products are pretty cool. To be honest, I'm very intrigued by what they were doing with the M1 Max. But it's pretty dope. Oh, you can still run it through Rosetta. Oh yeah, that would make sense that you can run it through Rosetta. The problem is I think you have to run it through that command. I think you have to append that command to it every time, which kind of sucks. But you know, that'll work. I'll try to figure out a workaround for people. But cool. So we're gonna dive into Linux next week. Then after that, we're gonna dive into some computer science a little bit and just learn a little bit of coding. So if you don't have time to go through one of the other courses right now, we'll get you understanding what code can do and kind of what, like, see what it's like. And we're gonna build something. We're gonna do a whole ETL process. We did this with the Cloud Guru Challenge. We're gonna do a different ETL process, but we're gonna be building an ETL process with Python. So we'll do something here. So that'll be pretty cool. You will not be a programming pro after this, but you will have seen something be built, and you'll have some coding concepts underneath your belt. Then we'll dive into all the infrastructure stuff, so networking and security and web servers and stuff. Then we'll dive into cloud and CI/CD a little bit. Then some infrastructure as code for 2 different weeks. Provisioning first, so this will be Terraform week 6, and week 7 will be Ansible week. And then we'll dive into containers for the final week. And then there actually will be, so it won't be a part of this, but in between, right after this, there's going to be a whole series for all of the courses on interview prep and kind of continuing education and things before the next series, before the next events, the more advanced series comes up. But that's what we'll be doing. So absolutely, I appreciate everyone coming through. I'm gonna let everyone get out of here. That took longer than I thought, but I was excited to spend some time with you all. We'll be back on Wednesday. Well, again, we'll be diving into setting up our development environment and diving deeper into all the stuff, roles, expectations, what it's like, a day in the life of these roles. Like, what are you really gonna be doing on the job? So we kind of know how to tailor what we're learning. And again, we'll spend some time getting our dev environments and stuff set up and getting the tools and things that we need all together. But if you are interested in learning some software, tomorrow we're hopping off with Decoded. I think day 1 of Decoded is a little different. I think we're going to be diving into some coding tomorrow. Yeah, we'll dive into some runtime installations and stuff. And I think we'll get all the way into this. Maybe we'll get into this too. But yeah, we'll dive into this starting tomorrow. So if you're interested, come on through. We're going to be learning a lot there as well. And then on Friday for Horizons, we will be doing much of the same thing. Again, syllabus week, always a little bit weird because there's a lot of overlap in the first half of the courses, but these ones are a little bit different because we will be diving into stream specific things for each of these. So we'll dive straight into AWS stuff on the first day on Friday. So on Friday, we're doing all of this on Friday. Remember, this is 1 day a week. So we're actually doing all of these things on Friday. So if you're interested, come on through. But that's it. Thanks for coming through. Like I said, thank you for all the love and support tonight. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope that you are as excited about this as I am. I'm going to be learning a bunch of things this year. I'm diving into Azure. I know a lot about AWS. I've held multiple AWS certifications, but this year I'm diving into Microsoft Azure. I'm diving into getting my Kubernetes certification, my certified Kubernetes administrator. And I'm going to be writing tons of software this year. I'm building some things this year. It's going to be pretty exciting. So I'm learning just like you. I'm excited to learn with you. And yeah, I'm excited to see where we can all go and grow together. At the end of every stream, we obviously have to go over and raid someone. Let me see who's online tonight. Is there anyone that we know on? Mr. Griffin is online. Also, I just want to tell you that I appreciate you all for helping me beat the chickens tonight. Our Chicken Life is a channel in the Science and Tech here section of Twitch, and it's very difficult to beat them. They always have tons of viewers. I appreciate you all for coming through and helping us beat the chickens tonight. It makes me feel good. I'm very proud. Thank you so much. Does anyone do anything really cool? Combat prototype, man. I don't know what this is. Which commander? Yeah, we're gonna head over and say hello to Mr. Griffin. He's building some stuff in Kotlin. Pretty dope guy. There are a lot of amazing people here on Twitch. Explore, a lot of people to learn from. And I'll try to, shout them out as I come across them. But yeah, that's all we're gonna do. So let's see. Raid and Mr. CM Griffin. So for anyone of you who are new here to Twitch and you don't know what a raid is, basically it's going to take everyone from this channel over to that person's channel. Feel free to leave. This is the end. Feel free to go do whatever you want to do. But if you have a little time, say hello. Usually it's a fun little time to meet other people, to introduce yourself to, again, like I said, a new content creator who you may be able to learn a ton from. So cool. I'll see everyone later. I respect, you beat your chicken every night. Tonight we beat the chicken as well. So, now we're on your level now. I appreciate it. Peace out, everyone. I will see you later. Hopefully tomorrow. Peace.